It's prom season once again, so rent your tuxes, buy your dresses and corsages, get a limo and spike some punch. Our date this year is Prom Night 4, Deliver Us from Evil. We watched it, so you don't have to. So you know what time it is. What's up, Moon Goons? Welcome to the Horrible Horror Podcast, the podcast where we watch the worst of the worst in horror movies. I'm your host, Lord Marshall Hampton. With me today is not Aaron Southworth, is not Nachos McWirth, it is not Cincinnati Jeff. It is one of the three Duchesses of Blood, one of the three Baronesses of Spook, because Dukes of Spook is already taken. But we have Monica from the Spooky Tuesday podcast joining me today for the first time. It is a pleasure to have a first timer, a newbie here, or not newbie Potter, but new on our show. So thank you so much for coming and filling in for Aaron this week and doing this with me.
Can you tell me what you just called me again so I can put that in my LinkedIn?
You are fair to use that. Well, since there are three of you on your show, there was the Duchess, the Baronesses of Spook, and the Duchesses of Blood, I think is what I said.
Awesome. I'm getting that tattooed.
Or
that's amazing.
Baronesses of Blood, Duchess of Spook. Well, frick them around every way.
Either way, we can switch it around. I love it. Thank you.
No problem. That's what I do here. I make, I get people nicknames and they can run with it. Have fun with that.
I'm very happy.
Yes. So they actually, fill in the listeners out. You guys actually just kind of randomly, I think, reached out to us on Instagram or something, and we started talking, and we just kind of had a lot in common. And I checked out your show, you checked out, and you guys were a lot of fun. And we talked about having you girls on because, like I said, Aaron's taking a hiatus. And I need some fast. Like this would be a great opportunity to do a little cross promo, little cross plugging here, and kind of expand our little network of podcast friends. And you guys jumped at the opportunity. And I was still thankful for that. So this is
Horrible
awesome.
Horror Podcast is part of the origin story of Spooky Tuesday. My co-host Sydney and I originally were just going to do a pod, the two of us, and we thought about doing one about bad, scary movies. We came up with an idea for a name called So Bad It's Scary, and I Googled that, and I found y'all because that's your tagline.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, they've got the corner on the market on this type of podcast. So we moved on from that idea just in any horror movie that we feel like doing instead, and Spooky Tuesday was born, but y'all were a part of that.
Well, I'm glad we can help out and be some small part in you guys' origin stories.
Inspiration.
Before we get started though on this week's episode, I do have one little bone to pick with
now we're gonna fight right now.
We might have to throw down here for a second.
Oh man. Okay. What's up?
And it might not be you. It might have been one of the other co-hosts. But I listened to a few of your episodes, and the first one I listened to was Jason X, because that's when that was our 10th episode, I think, 9th or 10th episode.
Oh, amazing.
Way back, 5 years ago.
Jason X.
You would think I would have planned it out better, but it would probably was like the 9th. I missed out the opportunity on that. I don't know.
We don't plan that shit either.
But one of you, I think, said you did not enjoy the movie, that you thought it was bad, and just didn't. I don't know. You were very critical of it.
It was Chelsea. It was not me. Okay. I fucking loved Jason X.
Thank you. All right, then we're cool. Chelsea. Then Chelsea, you hear this?
Chelsea,
you and I, we have to go. We have to talk. We have to have some words because Jason X. Yes, it's dumb, and yes, it's over top. But you know what? It was designed to be that way, and it is a damn good, fun ride. And it's got one of the best kills in all of cinema history with a liquid nitrogen's face smash. You cannot beat that as number one kill for me still, I think, is that kill.
That kill is so fucked up. And the screw one was hilarious to me when they're like, oh, he got screwed.
The drill. Yeah, the giant drill bit. He just got screwed. Yeah. And then one girl gets
Iconic.
sucked out into space through like a vent grate and just turns to shreds of
meat
flesh.
grinder. Yeah.
Come on, there are some
can't
amazing
ask for
kills in
more.
that. Yeah. Okay, Monica, you and I were cool. Chelsea, we got her some words. When you come on
Marsha.
next.
I'll let her know. That she's got some hell to pay.
She does.
I already let her know on the episode though, so
Good.
don't worry.
Good,
I've given her shit.
All right. With that out of the way, this week's movie, it is prom season. Spring is here, so we've done Prom Night 2, we've done Prom Night 3, so we said, fuck it, let's move on to Prom Night 4, Deliver Us from Evil, and finish out the series. So that's what we're in for today, guys. Prom Night 4, Deliver Us from Evil was released. Now, I saw 2 different dates on this. One said it was just released in 1991. They didn't give dates, it's just the year 1991 at some point. The other date said February 14th of 1992, a whole year later, which also makes sense. I'm not sure why it'd be released on Valentine's Day. A prom movie on Valentine's Day does not make much sense. So, yeah, thank you. It's just weird. Figure out it's one of those 2.
It is deeply romantic as a film.
It is. The Notebook, piano, get out of here. It's Prom Night 4 now. Written by Richard Beatty, directed by Clay Boris. This guy's got 33 credits as a director. He did a few episodes of Ninja Turtles, The Next Mutation, several episodes of Highlander, the TV show, and he was second unit director on the horror movie Wrong Turn. So here's that's his horror movie connection besides this one. But second unit director is not much. That's basically go out there and get B-roll. That's basically what he did. You can find this movie if you want to watch it on Tubi, which is where I watched it, Vudu, Crackle, Pluto TV, Amazon Prime, Sling TV, Fubo TV, and whatever that is, and Philo, something else I've never heard of. So it's a lot of places you can get it, but some of them many I've never heard of, but there are options out there. The cast, we can talk about a few people real quick, just for you guys. Megan's played by Nicole DeBoer. Borer? I don't know. I butcher names. That's what I do. 59 credits. She was Sarah Bracknell Bannerman in The Dead Zone for you literature buffs and movie buffs, based on Stephen King's book. She also played that character in 72 episodes of the Dead Zone TV show. So she has some chops there. She was Lieutenant Ezri Dax in 25 episodes of Star Trek Deep Space Nine for your Trekkies out there. Okay. And she's been on The Outer Limits and Beyond Reality, a few other sci-fi shows she's been on as well. Laura is played by Miss Joy Tanner, also 59 credits her name. This is her debut acting credit. This is her first movie, her first real, at least IMDb credit anyway, first gig. She was in the 2012 House at the End of the Street, which I believe starred Jennifer Lawrence, if I remember correctly.
Oh, God. I heard about I don't know if I've seen that one.
I remember seeing it. I don't remember much about it.
Oh,
I can't remember if I liked it or not.
all the ads for that.
Yeah, I remember the ads a lot. I know I watched it. I just don't remember much about it. She was on 26 episodes of Degrassi, The Next Generation, and Degrassi Takes Manhattan, which is probably much better than Jason Takes Manhattan. I can't imagine, because that's a Jason movie that sucks. You can tell Chelsea to watch that, then watch Jason X, and tell me which one's worse. And she was Candy Kong in 9 episodes of Donkey Kong Country for all you cartoon lovers and Nintendo buffs out there.
Beautiful resume here.
The last 2 we're going to mention is Father Yeager, played by Kenneth McGregor. He's got 106 credits, hardworking man, mostly a lot of character work and one-and-done cameo shots on TV shows. But he was Magneto's father in the very first X-Men movie. So that's kind of cool.
That's very cool.
And lastly, we have to mention Brock Simpson again, because he returns once more time. Only this time he's playing Father Colin. That's the only reason to bring him up again. If you remember, guys, Brock Simpson is the only actor to appear in every Prom Night movie, which I guess technically, now that this is the 3rd Prom Night movie we've done on the show, makes him eligible for the Horrible Horror Hall of Fame. But I don't know. You might need a little more variety than just doing 3 Prom Night movies to get in. But he is eligible, I guess, technically.
What does he play as? Okay, spoiler alert for the listeners. I haven't seen any other Prom Night movie, so I'm coming into this completely blind.
Well, luckily,
does he do in the other ones?
Luckily, you don't need to see the other ones, because this one has absolutely nothing to do with any of the other sequels.
They don't even really go to prom.
Barely, yeah.
They barely go to prom.
I was gonna bring that. Yeah, they it's just very reminiscent of a movie we did a few months ago called Party Night. It might have been last prom season. I don't know, but it's basically, it was a prom movie where there was no prom, and it's basically what this is.
Beautiful.
Brock Simpson. What did I say? Simpson. In this movie, he plays Father Colin, a young priest.
Mm-hmm.
In 2 and 3, again, I couldn't tell you because it's been years since I've seen those. But he had like a small part, or one of them had a more of a major part. But he's always had some mid-level part in every prom night movie. Now the first one, Jamie Lee Curtis, I haven't seen that in a long time. Like I said, we don't do that on the show because that's a good movie. If we ever did do it, it would be like a watch-long special or something like that. But we don't do it because it's a good one. But yeah, Brock. So he's been bit parts. You don't have to see the other ones that get anything. The only ones that had anything to do with each other were 2 and 3 had some loose connection because the antagonist was the same character, played by different people, but the same character of Mary Lou.
Played by different people. Interesting.
But yeah.
Okay.
So Mary Lou was like basically in that one, Prom Night 2, Mary Lou is comes back as a killed in like the 50s, comes back as a angry, vengeful spirit and possesses a girl in the 80s.
That one was supernatural. Okay.
Yeah, and 2 and 3 are both supernatural.
A lot.
Yeah, they're different, but they're way more campy and fun. They're not serious. Mm-hmm. But we ended up saying so bad they're good for those. We ended up having good times because they suck. 3's wacky and weird, but it's just a different kind of fun ride. You can't take it seriously.
Fun.
But Mary Lou's in that one too, just a different actress plays her. So 2 and 3 are related. That's it. 1 and 4 have nothing to do with the franchise really at all. This one completely doesn't. Like I said, we barely even have a prom in it. So with that, let's get going. So the movie. Oh, hold on a second. I got just for nachos and people listen to, they love the sound. There you go. You guys, enjoy that. So we open it opens in 1957 with the credits playing over various shots of this grand, majestic, beautiful cathedral. I mean, it's a beautiful architecture. It's really gorgeous.
Very beautiful. The stained glass work is phenomenal.
It is. Inside, we meet Father Jonas. He's praying at an altar, asking God to help him save all the sluts and whores, to grant him strength so he can deliver their souls to him. I don't know about you, Monica, but
Who hasn't been there?
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, I instantly started laughing. Like, first few seconds of the movie, I'm laughing out loud. It's just because the way this actor delivered, I think his name's James Carver or something like that, is who plays Father Jonas. The way he says sluts and whores, so it's like, I would have done a spit take had I been drinking. It's so hilarious, but it's so intense, but so badly. Intense. It's incredible.
He deserves some sort of award for his performance throughout this film.
100%. This guy is praying so hard and so intensely with his hands like clasped together. Like you could, I swear if he had a coal in there, he'd turn into a diamond because his hands start bleeding because he's praying so hard. His hands start to bleed. I have never seen that anywhere before.
This recurs later in the film. Like, what is this superpower that he has?
Well, it's actually
he just is really strong. Is he just pressing his hands together?
I guess he's got the power of the Lord or something. Yeah, I don't know.
Lord, something.
So after the prayer, the camera focuses on a small statue of Jesus. Which one reason I mention this is because it's weird. It's an odd thing because the statue for some reason like comes alive and like turns towards the camera. And it's just a weird thing because it's not like the camera pans around the statue. You can clearly see the statue turns towards the camera. So it's like, why is this Jesus statue suddenly coming to life and moving?
Jesus is turning to you and saying, y'all, this is about to get wild.
Hold on to your butts, kid. For you're a fan of Jurassic Park, which I'm sorry. Chelsea. Was it Chelsea, the Jurassic Park 2 one? Okay. Mm-hmm. So now we go to Hamilton High Prom. Now this is the only connection to the other movies because Hamilton High is the same high school in the other two movies, in the other ones. But that's about it. So we meet Brad and Lisa back in 1957 Turns out Lisa's on a date with Larry, who is off dancing with another girl named Louise. So is that enough L names for you to keep track of? Because
No, I think there should be more.
you would think so. So anyway, Lisa tells Brad that Larry only asked her to the prom because he thought he'd get lucky. So then Brad drops the line on Lisa, it's not who you come with, it's who takes you home. And apparently that fucking works on Lisa, because she pretty much is instantly like, yep, let's go to your car and fuck. And I'm like, whoa. Like, I'm sorry.
Like, leans in and kisses her after that too.
Yeah.
He's just like, I'm just gonna shoot my shot.
I'm going for
Bold.
it. Yes.
I want that confidence. Damn.
I'm about to say, like, would that line ever work on? I mean, seriously. I mean, you're like, if somebody says this, how would that work on somebody? But it does.
It would not. Especially me in high school, I'd have been like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, that's another thing to purpose.
Scandalized.
These are high school kids, and she's like, "Oh, that worked on me. Let's go bang in your car, in your back of your Chevy."
She has her good lines too, though.
What is it? Oh, they leave the gym. They head out to the front doors where they light up some cigarettes. They make out a bit, and in comes Larry and Louise, who's like pulling up her dress because like apparently they just got done banging in their car somewhere. That's the impression I got from this.
I can see that.
So Lisa's like, "Hey, you have a car?" And Brad's like, "Yeah, you want me to take you?" She's like, "No." And she like drags him out the door, and we just cut to them in the backseat of Brad's whatever it is car in a high school parking lot. Keep that in mind, the high school parking lot, and they're making out. They're going at it. Brad starts hearing shit. But Lisa just wants to get that dick, apparently, because she's like, fuck, I don't hear shit. Keep going, buddy. I'm not done here. But then they notice.
Well, time is short. Anyone could be walking out of that prom at any second.
That is very true. That is very true.
Dangerous.
They notice now 3 lit candles sitting on the hood of their car. This freaks them both out now, rightfully so. But Brad says, like, well, I guess I'm the man, so I guess I'll go look.
Yeah.
So chivalrous. And that's when Father Jonas punches through a window and just slices Lisa's throat. And Lisa grabs her throat. She's calling out for Brad. She's like, Brad. As blood.
Can you talk when that's happening to you? I don't know.
That's a good question. I mean, I don't want to find out, like, personally.
No,
but
I don't either.
I think you could. I think very whispery, very like gaspy. I think you could. I guess if it's not too deep, but that's a good question.
Yeah. I was so confused at that moment because I was like, is he gonna have like a hook right now? I thought that his weapon was like some weird hook thing, and I was like, why is this the weapon? But it's so much better.
Oh, it is so much better. I cannot wait to talk about this.
Better.
So yeah, blood is spraying out of Lisa's neck all over Brad, covering Brad's face. It looks awesome. It really does. I will say that. Did. Brad scrambles out of the car and right into Father Jones, who stabs Brad in the stomach with a sharpened metal crucifix that looks more like a fucking sword. It's like Excalibur. So I guess, I don't know if you call it a swordifix or a crucisword. I guess I'm going swordifix. I don't know, crucisword, one of the two. But I think
I like crucisword, but we can switch off.
Crucisword, swordifix, whatever. Crucisword, we'll go.
Whatever.
It's awesome looking. It's ridiculous because it's so big.
It's huge, and I think all ends are sharpened.
Yeah, like you could throw this thing like a friggin' boomerang because every end it comes like a point, comes to a sharpened point.
Yeah.
All 4 technically just it's like Kylo Ren's lightsaber, only looks from like medieval times. It's got like the hand guards go across into pointy spike ends. The handle has a pointy spiky end on it, and then the long blade of the crucisword, sort of fix, whatever we're calling it. And it's massive and it's amazing. I kind of loved it. It's ridiculous.
I loved it. I mean, you got to have a sick weapon if you're going to be doing this.
That's a good point.
Especially all these like religiously motivated crimes that he's going to do. At least he's got the sickest.
Yeah.
Jesus would approve of that.
Jesus approved murder weapon. Brad falls down dead onto the car, landing on Lisa's dead body. Now it gets even wackier already because Jonas then goes to the front of the car, pulls out his Aspergillum. For those who don't know, that is a priestly tool if you're not a Catholic, or I am not, but I had to look this up. So here's your educational moment for the day. An Aspergillum is like the little thing that they has like a little. It's like a stick, and the end of it has like a metal ball or some sort with vents in it that they dip into the holy water, and inside the ball is like a sponge that soaks up water, and then they flick it. That's what they flick the holy water with.
Wow.
The bowl is like an Aspergillum or something like that. Is what the water is stored in. The Aspergillum is like the stick where they fling the holy water with it. So
wow, thank you.
Yeah, we also go to educate here too, not to entertain, but to make you guys smarter. But instead of sprinkling holy water, apparently this thing is sprinkling like fucking gasoline, because he sprays this thing and the car just erupts into flames. One flick, flame on one side, flip again, flame on the left side. I mean, the candles are so, I guess the whatever he's flicking out is hitting the flame of the candle just erupting into fire.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. Now it turns like a shot from an action video, like The Expendables or something like that, because he starts walking away from the car, which just fucking explodes like in a massive fireball explosion.
It reminds me of that. I don't know if it's an SNL thing. Yeah, it was an SNL skit. The cool guys don't look at explosions. They turn their backs and walk away. Like that song should have been playing right then.
Yeah.
He looked badass.
He does. It's a great looking shot. It's amazing. I mean, this car explodes, and do it from a couple angles. Or the angles of him walking right toward the camera, the car's blowing behind him. They do like an aerial shot or exploding up towards the camera. But what I laughed about this is the fact that I said, remember, this is supposed to be a high school parking lot in the middle of prom, but this is the only car now in the whole parking lot. There's one car. Like, that's bullshit. That thing should be packed with cars. There should be like a string of explosions going off, but budget, I guess. But I just found it funny. There's only one car in this parking lot at the prom. But that's it. Like I said, I fucking love this opening, and I'm like, okay, Prom Night 4. I see you there. I see what you're doing. I'm liking what you're putting down. I'm on board. All right.
It's a strong start.
It is
certainly a strong start.
Very strong start.
We'll see how strong it continues to be.
That's the question. Does it maintain? So now we jump to the St. Basil Seminary, down the basement, which looks like a dungeon, more of a dungeon than a basement, is Jonas, who's self-flagellating himself. So he's whipping himself like the monk from Da Vinci Code, the albino guy, while speaking to God, talking about, let's bleed to save their souls of sinner or something like that. Something about blood and sinners. Hanging on the wall is his crucisword. I think you prefer crucisword. Still covered in blood. He didn't clean it up. It's just blood stain hanging on the wall there.
The blood sacrament.
Yes. And I hope that's not Blad's blood. That's a little Resident Evil reference for everybody. Substitute Brad for Chris. Anyways, while Jonas is whipping himself, in comes 3 other priests. Father Jonas and like 2 random guys. It doesn't matter what their names are. Jonas looks back and says, "We did good work last night, Father Jaeger. We did good work." Jaeger calls him an abomination, to which Jonas responds, "Don't touch him. No, not there. He's too young." I'm like, oh, shit's getting real.
What fucking happened right then? Can we talk about that?
Oh, yes, we can definitely talk about that.
Is he accusing him of, like, being a pedophile?
Yes, 100%. That's what I got from it.
That's what I thought, too. Oh, 100%. My God. I was like, we're going there immediately?
Like, holy 5 minutes in, we're going right there. We're going to child. Yeah. I was like, whoa, okay. We're going there. Strap in, guys.
For that, I was not prepared.
Strap in. So yeah, I mean, shit is getting real. We are going there. So I wasn't confused. I was a little confused if he was saying that Jaeger either molested Jonas, which I don't think, or if Jonas somehow witnessed, or is saying that Jaeger molested somebody else. So it's not really clear, but they are obviously saying Jaeger is a priest molester or child molester, and that's fucking dark.
I think also he could have had like weird clairvoyance things, because he's got all this weird powers right now. Because like 5 seconds later, spoiler alert, he starts bleeding out of his hands again.
Yes. Right now here, he looks at his hands start bleeding out, and he starts magically bleeding from the palms. For those who don't know, like if you don't, you're saying, man, this is actually the sign of the stigmata, is what this is. So,
okay, like Jesus
yes.
on the cross?
Yes,
okay.
exactly. That's the signs. Like they'll bleed from the hands, they'll bleed from feet, they'll bleed from the head, from the crown of thorns, and then they eventually die from the spear jabbing them through the side. That's like the stigmata that package that. You can also tell. Actually, it might have been you. That one of you is the Arnold Schwarzenegger fan. Want to do more Arnold movies on your show?
I love Arnold.
Well,
it's me.
You could do was the ninth, not Ninth Gate. God, there is an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie that deals with stigmata. It's got Gabriel Byrne, and I forget the name of it off to him. I'm mad at myself for forgetting because I actually like the movie, but there's one you guys could do too because it does deal with stigmata and has more of a thriller horror aspect.
We love stigmata. I love the stigmata in this. Oh, maybe called End of Days.
That's it. End of Days. There you go. Ninth Gate is a Johnny
Arnold
Depp
Schwarzenegger
one.
stigmata, and it came right up.
There you go. End of Days. Thank you. Anyway, Jonas says, he's holding out his bleeding hand, says, I'm bleeding for all of you, for all of them. And in a blink of an eye, you blink and he's fast like the Flash here. Jonas grabs Father Jaeger and just starts kissing him on the lips. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? What?
I don't know. I really didn't expect that at all. And I
certainly didn't.
No, yeah, I mean, like, you've listened to Spooky Tuesday before. We always want to make things gay, but I was like, I don't know if I need this gay kiss now. I was like, I don't know if this doesn't feel like the vibe I'm looking for.
I actually had that. I was going to bring that up later at the end for you. I know that you guys did that bit, and we're going to do that later for you.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I was like, whoa. So not ready for that. So the other two priests have to physically pull Jonas off of Father Jaeger to stop him from kissing him.
Powerful kiss.
Jonas starts laughing like a madman, just going insane here. And the priest then it cuts to the priest having arrested Jonas. It looks like he's being arrested. They're taking him out of the seminary or the St. Basil's thing, and they're loading him to the backseat of a car like cops do. And then they just get in the car and they drive him away. They take him away. And that's it. And now we time jump all the way to 1991, and we go to the St. George Church. Yep. And this is where we meet Father Colin, Brock Simpson, who's a young man who's basically just getting ordained. He's fresh out of seminary school. He's fresh kid on the block. And he's talking to his girlfriend, apparently. So priest with a girlfriend. So sure. And he's telling her about.
What are the ones that they're some pastors have wives and stuff?
Yeah.
What is the type of thing that you have to be where you're not allowed
celibate
to have a
and all that? Yeah, I'm not sure. I know some monks are. I think some monks were to be. But yeah, I guess priests. I always thought priests and nuns had to take a vow of celibacy. So I didn't think they could.
Okay, yeah. Because when you put it in the nun category, then it makes sense.
So it's anyway. Yeah. Anyway, so he's got a girlfriend named Jennifer, and he's telling her how he's being sent to Africa for his final mission, all this, his final thing. And then they say their goodbyes, and she leaves, and you never see her again. So I really don't know what the point of that scene is. I mean, you can introduce Father Colin in a different way, but why introduce his girlfriend who's never seen again? It has no bearing on the rest of the movie whatsoever.
I think it's his temptation to to not follow his faith, because then Jonas uses it against him later on.
He does.
Yeah.
It's still
weird.
It's still weird. It's doesn't.
Weird.
It's shoehorned in there. Colin then goes to talk to Father Jaeger. Jaeger tells him that he's been taken out of the missionary program now. And Colin's like, wait, what? I'm supposed to go to Africa. He's like, your plans change. And Jaeger grabs this large groundskeeper Willie key ring, and takes Colin, says follow me, and he takes Colin down into the bowels of the church, which at this point looked like a filthy, wet, rundown mental hospital. Yeah. It's very dungeon-like, but very it doesn't look like it should be in the bottom of a church at all.
No, it doesn't.
It kind of looks like the tunnels. Kind of looks like the tunnels from Halloween 6. Where Jason's stalking a nurse underneath the hospital. It kind of like that, only wetter and darker. It's very wet down there. Yeah, I don't know why it's so wet.
They have some sort of water intrusion happening.
They need to get like some like Helitech guys out. I don't know if that's a nationwide, but
get the plumber.
Yeah. Call Mario and Luigi. Get them over there to work on that. So I don't know. It's like some kind of top secret sanatorium or something. It's crazy. It's weird. Jaeger takes Colin to this one room where they have Jonas strapped down to a bed, all doped up in like a medical coma or something like that, even though like his eyes are open, which makes no sense.
Like Sasquatch.
It does. We're talking. Yeah, this is why we have to talk about this because Jonas. Thank you for bringing that up because my next note is like we were talking about how he looks because remember this is supposed to be 34 years in the future.
Yes.
34 years have passed now. So how do they age Jonas with makeup? Fuck no, not that. Even though that would make the proper thing to do and the most common thing, but they said fuck that. Instead, they just turned him into like Rip Van Winkle or Sasquatch, as you like to say, and gave him like this comically large, long black beard and long hair. I mean, hell, slap a pointy hat on him and you got evil Gandalf. I mean, that's all you do.
Straight up. They
worst.
didn't age him at all. I think his other superpower besides bleedy hand, big strong grip, is like the fountain of youth.
Yes, the guy is ageless.
Ageless.
They didn't even give him like gray hairs or like any like little bags under the eyes. Nothing.
It's a fully black beard. His hair is long and luscious. It looks well cared for, conditioned.
Incredibly well cared. That is a full. That thing has been taken care of. Well, he's been like a medical coma for 34 years.
All he could do was grow hair and facial hair. That's all he could do.
So Jaeger tells Colin that Jonas is beyond salvation, that all they can do is keep the demon contained, that he is evil beyond imagination. So kind of ripping off Halloween there a little bit. Jaeger goes into a coughing fit, and then Colin just helps him out of the room. So now we cut to our main girl, Megan. She's eating lunch alone at a picnic table at her Catholic high school. She's shortly joined by her boyfriend, Mark, who does not go to the school with her. Because I'm guessing she's at an all-girls school. That's what I kind of get from this. Other than that, there's nothing about this scene of any importance at all, really. So it just introduces them, and we're going to move on. The only thing I will say is that Megan's hair kind of makes her look like a Bashan Frise. If you guys know what that is, it's this little white dog, little poofy hair. Look up Bashan Frise and her hair, and it's
I
ridiculous.
like her curly bob, but I see what you're saying.
It is a perm, like it is permed to the roof. And it's like short and curly, like maybe down to her ears, super curly.
I think the whole point of that scene was just to establish that it goes to confession.
Yeah. Or she goes to a Catholic school or something. Yeah. There's really nothing else.
Yeah.
So now we jump to Father Colin standing over Father Jaeger's fresh grave. As he stands there looking down, we hear Jaeger in via voiceover telling Colin that he was chosen to succeed him as guardian. And it's now Colin's job to watch over and take care of Jonas, to always keep him locked up and above all else, protect the church, to never reveal Jonas's existence to anyone. This is now his life's work. But if ever Jonas does awake or get out, go ahead and call Cardinal Turrent. Like basically what he says. You get all that in voiceover. So
Colin got fucked over.
Yeah, you think?
He got fucked over. He was gonna go to Africa. He was gonna go, do something exciting.
Yeah.
And instead, he is charged with being the ward of an eternal being who is evil.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like he's gonna die in 10 years. He's apparently gonna live forever.
Because it's proven he does not age at all. He is immortal.
Looks fantastic.
Like I said, this sounds a little too realistic and hitting a little close to home when it comes to the priesthood, like protecting the church and putting the church's need instead of doing what's right. Kind of moving around and protecting child fucking priests to protect them, and the church instead of sending those sick fucks to prison. Kind of like I'm getting a little messagey here, like kind of a let's peel back that curtain in this movie a bit.
No, Totally, because they know that Father Jonas committed those murders, and instead of being like, the authorities, take him away, they're like, let me create an underground ward that's very wet to keep him for all of eternity. Like, that's how deep their secrets go. That's how the length they'll take to keep from any controversy.
Which is way more exuberant and elaborate and pricey and just way more convoluted than just saying, yeah, we had a priest who murdered some people, sent his ass to prison. We don't, we'll excommunicate him. We excommunicate him. He's done. That's the right thing to do. Yeah, but instead, you know what? Let's just put him in a medical coma and we'll just keep him locked up in a dungeon for 34 years or forever.
Perfect.
And then on second thought, the other thing about this is, who in the blue hell thought it would be a good idea to put the youngest, like the new kid? Hey, just put the new kid in charge of the immortal killing machine priest. That's a great idea. Put the new guy on it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they thought that Father Jaeger would be around 5 minutes longer to really instill in him the knowledge that this guy will fuck your shit up. Yeah. But no, he died too quick.
Yeah, I love these weak premises and just like all the red flags. Like, oh, okay, here we go. So we cut back to the Catholic school where a nun now is scolding our two other main characters, Laura and her boyfriend Jeff, are basically getting caught fucking in a car on school property.
That's like a big theme of the film, is fucking in a car.
It really is. This is twice now. I mean, I guess whoever wrote this thinks that high school kids just fucking cars. That's like all they do.
The only place they can go.
It's the only place. Yeah, nowhere else. After they leave the nun's office, Jeff tells Laura, which is another L name, by the way. Now, so we have 4, at least, L names going on in this movie, maybe more.
Should have gone all the way.
Yeah, and we have Mark and Megan, so we have 2 M's. There's not a whole lot of variety in the creativity name department in this movie.
Keeping it all in one section of the alphabet.
Yeah, and then you have Jaeger and Jonas, 2 J's. Like, everybody's like, yeah, too many. Anyway, so Megan and Mark, they say, hey, Megan and Mark are going to prom. And so Jeff asks Laura if he wants to go with them. And we have a really big, cool surprise all cooked up. So she says yes. The 2 of them get into a sweet Firebird and drive off.
Nice.
That car's pretty sweet, I will say, for like 80s,
you missed the
early
part
90s.
Where Laura's like, yeah, I was fucking him.
Oh, yeah, she straight up tells the nun, yeah. The nun's beating around the bush, like, what were you doing? And blah, blah, blah. And you were doing this. And Laura's like, I was fucking him. Like it's just, yeah, she's very blunt about that.
That's when I fell in love with her.
Yeah, Laura's pretty great. I will say Laura's probably the best
so
character
funny.
in this movie. So we jump back to Colin now, sitting in like an office or a library or something. We get more Jaeger voiceover saying how the church is very forgiving of their own. Once again, kind of being that horse.
Jesus.
That they tried to help Jonas, but nothing worked, and that Jonas became catatonic right after he was brought here. They tried exorcisms, drugs, and treatments, and those were the only way to keep Jonas comatose, to keep Satan from awakening within him. Is again, we get all that in voiceover. While Colin sits there.
Great voiceover work.
It is pretty good voiceover work.
It's effective.
Colin then packs up like a black doctor's bag, like a medical bag, grabs a syringe filled with some drug, and then heads down to Jonas's room. Where he pulls out a straight razor, cleans up Jonas. He cuts his hair. I guess he's already shaved off the big giant beard. But for some reason,
sexy ponytail.
Yeah, I was like, yes,
upgrade to 1950s Jonas. Like, he looks great with the ponytail.
I'm gonna say he leaves them the man ponytail. He leaves the ponytail.
I love how they make you think like, oh, Colin's just gonna kill him because they bring out the razor.
The razor, yeah.
No, he's just gonna take him to the barber.
He's gotta shave him
also
up.
a part-time barber.
So, all this whole time we get more voiceovers that I didn't care. There's just more Jaeger talking. And now I still, at this point, again, now with the beard and the hair's looking, I still can't get over how they did nothing to make Jonas look older, even at this point.
Oh,
I did the math. Jonas should be somewhere in his 50s at this point, and he still looks like he's in his 20s. Like it just bamboozles me why they didn't do any kind of aging at all with this guy.
Like science has gone so far now in 2022, you know, Botox, all of that. But even then, 50-year-olds don't look like Jonas.
Yeah, no, not at all. So we cut to Megan in her bedroom with Laura. They're just chit-chatting, hanging out, and it's just like just a little scene to show them being friends and they're all that. But I shit you not, guys, they actually end up having a fucking pillow fight. Like, how cliche can we get? Two high school girls, two teenage girls in a bedroom, and they have a pillow fight.
That's what high school girls do. What are you talking about?
I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, do you sit around with your girls and just have pillow fights?
Oh, of course, all the time. No, and the pillows fly out of them, and it's hilarious. Yeah. Ha ha ha. We're all in matching pajamas. No, this does not happen.
I just laughed. I'm like, this is like, how cliche can you get? So we go back to the church. Colin returns to Jonas's room again, saying he wants to help him. But of course, the new kid thinks he can do better than the old fuddy-duddies did over the last 34 years because he's got that new kid mentality of I'm the best. Colin walks away and instantly starts to hear whispering saying, motherfucking priest, you should have married that whore Jennifer. You fucked her enough, didn't you? But you weren't the only one. And so he's like, what? So now...
What a horrifying voice to hear in your head. It's like so mean.
So aggressive. So aggressive. But so
Jonas doesn't beat around the fucking bush.
No,
okay?
he does not.
He does not. We gotta respect him for that.
Colin rushes back to Jonas's room and looks in. Jonas is still laying there all comatose in bed. So I'm guessing Jonas also has like telepathic powers now to like project his thoughts into other people's minds or something. Yeah. It's like, I don't know how this happens otherwise. Either that or Colin is also a little crazy and he's having his own like mental breakdown or regrets of not doing something with Jennifer and entering the priesthood. Especially now, he's like, fuck, I did not expect to be babysitting a 50-something miracle man who's like locked up in a dungeon for the rest of my life. So Colin goes to his office, calls Jennifer on the phone, but just hangs up once she answers it. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Excuse me. And he grabs the black doctor back again, goes to leave, but a curtain gets pulled back. At least I think it's a curtain. This is kind of dark. A curtain gets pulled back, and standing there is Jonas, who then just instantly seems to turn invisible. Because Colin rushes it back, he's just gone. He pulls the curtain back, there's Jonas, and then he just disappears, and Colin goes down to Jonas' room. There's Jonas laying in bed, comatose again.
I don't understand what was happening there. Like,
neither do I.
No one knows. The writers didn't know.
I don't think they did. It's like, this is so crazy. Like, we've seen like the cliche teleporting killer, but this is just wackadoodle. Like, he just pops up behind a curtain, like, ha! And then he's just gone. Like, instantly gone. Blink and he's gone.
I feel like he's got to have some sort of like mind thing where he like made him see him there.
Astral projection, like some Doctor Strange shit going on.
Yeah, maybe he made Colin see him there so Colin would go down and check on him to like lure him down there.
Oh. I like that idea.
That would be kind of a good idea.
I think you're doing this movie's work for it, but that's a great. I like where this is going. I like we're kind of turning Jonas into more than he really is supposed to be, but it makes the movie so much more interesting when you think of it from that point of view. It makes it so much better.
He's got a lot of powers. Okay,
he does.
I don't even know, astral projection.
Yeah, astral projection, I guess. So Colin rushes back down to Jonas' room. He's still there comatose, and so I'm like, what the fuck's happening? I don't know. Colin enters the room, goes over to Jonas to give him the shot of whatever's in it, but notices that the tops of Jonas's feet are now bleeding. Like I said, so we got stigmata stage number 2 now. Now the feet are bleeding. Colin starts to hear Jonas whispering in his head again, only this time it's in Latin. So he's speaking in Latin now, so good for him. He leans down closer to Jonas because that's always a good idea. And to no one's surprise, Jonas springs to life. Jonas grabs Colin by the neck, and then with one hand, and you listeners, you know how I feel about this one-handed bullshit. One hand throws Colin across the room, which seems to kill Colin at this point. He's like throws him against the wall. Callan collapses,
down.
Doesn't move. He's out. He's done. And then Jonas just escapes. He just leaves.
He's out of there.
Yeah. We cut to Mark's house. At least I think it's supposed to be Mark's house. Because, and what's about to happen is really kind of fucking creepy.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Mark and Megan are making the M's, double M's. They're making out on the couch. And watching them from the doorway is who I hope is Mark's younger brother. Because if it was Megan's, it's really fucked up. There's some serious issues. But Mark's younger brother.
Be Mark.
Yeah.
It's Mark's. But we're putting it to rest. It's Mark's.
It's Mark. Because all right, so because we're about to go down Taboo Parkway there. This kid, he's like probably 14. I'm gonna say 14. Watches them make out, and he's getting all horned up. Like it gets awkward really fast. This kid is off-putting as an adult watching like this 14-year-old boy being like this creepy perv who's like seriously about to like cum in his pants. And I swear to God, I thought there was a moment that he was gonna like start just jerking off right there because he's watching his older sibling Mark, getting on, and he's doing commentary while they're making out. He's like, "Ooh, rub your hand up her leg. Oh yeah, okay, unbutton that blouse. Oh yeah, unbutton. One more button. Yeah." And he's breathing. He's like,
people can hear you.
Yeah, they're like 10 feet away. No, they don't even notice.
Out loud, sir.
It's so creepy. It's so weird. It's like what? And he's like biting his lip while he's watching this. It's like.
This is why
what?
I'm glad that there's the internet now, so kids can watch porn instead of like perv on their brother. Jesus Christ.
That may be the best line I think I've ever heard. Thank God there's internet porn now, so kids can jerk off properly instead of watching their siblings
room
make
with
out.
The door closed, so no one can hear their weird commentary.
That's the best argument for pro internet porn I've ever heard.
It just makes sense.
It does. I mean, it makes
just
sense.
Show this clip to someone.
Parents, watch this clip and you won't mind your
You
kids.
don't want this to happen.
Yeah. So weird. But thank God Megan stops this, or who knows how far this was gone, what we would have ended up seeing. And she tells Mark that she's just not ready yet. So she's a good girl. We jump back to the church. Father Callan wakes up, so he's not dead. He gets up, heads all the way back up to his office, calls the cardinal to report about Jonas escaping. But before the cardinal can even get to the phone, Jonas pops up behind Callan and strangles him with, I think, a phone cord.
Yeah.
At least I think it's, again, some of these scenes are really dark and it's kind of hard to see, but I'm guessing it was like the phone cord, and kills Callan. Callan's dead. We go right back to Megan, back in the room with Laura. Both of them are just hanging out in lingerie, garter belts, and thigh-high stockings, because, that's what 18-year-old girls do, is hang out in lingerie in their rooms.
Are they getting ready for prom?
I think so. Yeah, I think this is what it is.
they're getting ready for prom.
Yeah.
So they're wearing their best stuff, I guess.
I will say, I am a sucker for garter belts and thigh highs. That's my thing. We give Aaron some
fantastic.
Shit. It's oh God, that's so hot. It's garters and thigh highs. Like, yes, that's so hot. So Laura is looking especially hot because she's got like this red halter corset to go with her matching red. Like, she's in red and black. I'm like, oh girl, you
She's
can
also
get
just so freaking gorgeous. I have a huge crush on her.
Yes,
oh my God.
thank you.
Yeah.
Laura can get it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
So they're talking about how great they look and how the boys are gonna love it. Although Megan has like a theme throughout this is Megan having self-image issues because she thinks she's too fat, and she says it like at least twice in the movie. This comes up, which is another weird kind of
like, why did they need to make her
like
feel
she's not
ashamed of her body too? And it was so like just a tiny little thing.
I picked up. It's like so tiny, and like I guess it's kind of in a way it's very realistic because a lot of high school girls and people feel that way, that they're not thin enough or not good enough. So it adds, I guess, a little splash of realism, but at the same time it's like, and makes her kind of a little bit more depth of character, but at the same time it's also like almost unneeded because I think it almost
So
sends a bad
yeah.
image, you know, like
Yeah,
because
I
there's no
agree.
follow up to it. There's no like, say you're wrong or anything like that. That's a wrong. It's just like she shouldn't be
No,
like that
because
at all.
the other instance is the last time her and Laura were alone together, and she looks at a picture of her when herself when she was younger, and she's like, "Oh, Mark wouldn't be dating me if I still looked like this,
Yes,
would
yes,
he?"
yeah.
And
Thank you.
Laura's like, "No, he wouldn't, but he likes you now." So it's like
Yes, that's so wrong.
reinforcing.
It's
Yeah,
enforcing it.
yeah.
So I
No,
disagree with that.
didn't
I
need
don't
it.
think that should have been in there. That's just weird. Um, so anyway, Laura does tell her that she's perfect, and then this leads. You may come back to this at the end when we
Oh,
do your segment. But this leads to a very lesbian-rific scene with Laura like rubbing on Megan, telling her how sexy she is, and like, do you find me sexy? I think you're
don't you think
beautiful. You're
I'm
hot.
sexy?
Yeah.
Are you attracted to me? I was like, whoa, I didn't expect this movie to go there. And then, I mean, say what happens next.
Well, turns out to be a joke because Megan's like, no, you're just my friend. I don't like it like that. Laura starts laughing. And she says, oh, it's okay. Because I just read an article in like Cosmo about how to tell if your best friend's gay or not. And like, so she was like testing her or something like that or doing this weird
What are
tease.
these mind games?
Yes, mind game. It's so weird. Like, what?
Like, I was like, wow, this is going in a different direction, a hot direction.
Yeah, it was hot. Like,
Catholic schoolgirls, this seems like the setup to,
a
again,
porn.
a porn. What is occurring? And then I was like, and then it's all a joke, and she turns it off completely. And I was like, oh my God, wait, I guess she actually was joking. I don't know. I don't know what to believe.
Yeah, I don't know if she.
Is Laura
Yeah,
a bisexual
maybe she's
character?
bi.
That'd be sick.
That would be sick. Like maybe she was like doing the I was just joking, huh? As the self defense thing. Oh no, we're good. But maybe
But
she was
doesn't
real.
act it like that though.
No.
She's like, haha, I was just kidding, haha, and then it's like it's completely fine. And
Yeah.
I was like, okay, maybe she was supposed to act that in a different way, and it just didn't pan out. I don't know.
Yeah, I got a little turned on. I won't lie, I was getting a little turned on. I was like, oh, okay, I'm into the. All right. Because
I was
like we both
The
agree.
movie's turning left.
Yeah, Laura can get it, so I'm okay with it. I'm like, yes, more of that, please. But yeah, it's all a joke. She blasted off, and then we
don't
jump
get
to
any more
Mark.
of that, unfortunately.
Oh, so I wish there's more. So we could jump to Mark and Jeff in their tuxes, making sure they have everything ready, like beer, cigarettes, whatever. We got everything. But most importantly, the hash. And I was like, man, when was the last time you heard someone refer to weed as hash? Like that dates this movie. Like I don't even know in the '90s were they calling it hash. Like that's just weird. Like hash? Who says that? Maybe that's a Canadian thing. I don't know.
Oh, you might. Maybe. I forgot this was made in Canada.
Yeah, I should have said at the beginning, guys, because we have had this long history, this gag on our show that we do not have a good luck with Canadian films. We've had very, very few good Canadian horror films that we have found on this show. So every time we know it's Canadian, we're like, oh shit, it's Canadian. We just always know we're in for a bumpy ass ride.
My Bloody Valentine's incredible though. That's Canadian, so it
Right.
can happen.
But
Canada isn't really known for its horror.
yes, but we also, like I said, Bloody Valentine, we haven't done the show because it's a good one.
Yep.
We did a retrospect. We did like a comparison one year. We compared the remake and the original. Just it's kind of like a bonus episode. It wasn't an actual thing, so I don't consider it. We've done it anyway. Moving on. So where were we? Mark's younger brother John, who is the pervy kid we saw earlier. So thank God it was Mark's brother. Is pretending now to be sick for some reason, which makes zero sense for what comes up and is about to. There's no reason for him to be playing sick at all. I do not get this.
I don't understand because it's not like he was gonna be freaking invited to this anyway. He is a child.
Yeah.
So I just
He could have just been fine. He could be like, yeah, I'm fine. We sit here and watch TV or I can play Nintendo all night. It's cool. All right. You can be good, John? Yeah, I'm good. All right. See ya. Bye. That could have been it. There's no reason for him to be playing sick at all because Mark was still going to go to prom regardless. John was still going to be left home regardless. It's just, I don't understand why the faking of the illness is here. It bamboozles me. I don't get it at all.
Was it like to make you know that he was up to something? Because the first time I watched this, I must have looked away. I completely missed this whole scene. And so later on, when we see him again, I was like, what the fuck is going on? So,
Maybe.
Then watching it again, I was like, oh, I guess that was the cue that he's being a weird freak again.
Maybe, but like I said, it doesn't matter. He could have he's still going to be a weird freak later. He doesn't need to pretend to be sick. He just, like say, he could have been sat there like, yeah, I'm good. See you later. Have fun. And the exact same thing would have happened. Like nothing changes.
I would have been so good without him in this movie completely.
Yeah.
Just drop that whole shit. And
it's true. Like he is a character that they don't need in this movie at all. They could have just gotten rid of the creepy brother and just made it like made another high school kid, like a tertiary friend or something like that, just kind of snuck around, or the fifth wheel who didn't have a date. Like there was no need for him to really have this kid in here, other than I don't know what they were thinking, honestly. So let's see. We go back to the church. We get some random priests and the cardinal that find Father Colin's dead body. So what do? Call the police to warn them about the escaped psycho killer priest on the loose? Nope. That would make too much sense and be too socially responsible. Instead, the cardinal orders the lackey priest to take Colin to his room and hang him there to make it look like he committed suicide. What the fuck is wrong with this church?
This
what
is
is happening?
A statement. It's making a huge statement that went completely over my head until we've discussed it now. I was like, wow, some fucked up shit is happening all the time. This is condemning the Catholic Church.
And the sad thing is, I could honestly kind of see that legitimately happening in today's society. Like, I could see them doing this in real life. That's kind of the sad thing about it. But
is
man,
the writer a conspiracy theorist about the Catholic
Church?
I
wish
not necessarily.
I have no idea.
He was trying to say something. He said it.
Yeah. Oh, he said it loud and clear. He was not beating around a bush or beating around a flaming bush.
Nice.
Burning bush. Yeah. So anyway, so that's beyond, it's crazy. And the cardinal finds Colin's journal on his desk, which he reads it. And which it says, I tried to make contact with Jonas. I did not administer the drugs, to which the cardinal just says, idiot, and leaves. Like, okay, this cardinal is a dick. I mean, Jesus.
He was like, he had clear instructions to drug the guy, and he didn't. So here we are.
Yeah, your own fault. But it kind of goes back to the point, like, why put the newbie in front and charges in the first place? Just get somebody else. We cut back.
Explain to him the gravity of the situation.
Yes.
Please.
We cut back to our main four characters driving in a limo, drinking champagne, which, by the way, they're way too young to drink because they're high school kids. But they're toasting Jamie Lee Curtis, which is a little meta.
That shit was so funny. I was like, what's happening right now? Because you know what that means. That means this movie takes place in a world where Prom Night 1 has come out and they've seen it.
Is a movie that they've seen, and Halloween, and it's crazy. It's very meta.
I liked that part a lot because it was the stupidest thing ever, but I loved it. I was like, okay.
So meanwhile, now Jonas is being picked up by some random truck driver who I kind of love. This truck driver is telling a priest that he's out to get some pussy, kitty, 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 and that he likes to get laid on Friday nights. Jesus, I love Fridays. And I'm like,
TGIF.
Yeah, like, this trucker's kind of awesome. I want to smoke some hash with this guy. And that's the scene.
The king of Fridays. He really is. Poor guy.
So we cut back to our main four. They pull up outside the Hamilton High School prom. Jeff just sticks his ass out the window, moons this large crowd of kids out front that are going into the prom, yelling out, "This is what I think of Hamilton High and their prom." And as they drive away, that's it. That's our prom night in the Prom Night 4. That's all we get from here on out of prom.
I was straight up so confused because I rewatched this part again and I was like, is there a part where they tell us that they were all planning the whole time to not go to prom because they're in their prom outfits?
Yes, thank you. We're gonna talk about that.
I was so confused.
Very confused.
I was like, ugh.
You know, they never go to prom, even though they're supposed to be going to prom.
They're in a limo.
So they could have saved so much money. They no need to rent a tux, no need to buy a dress, don't need to rent a limo. You could have just gone in jeans and a t-shirt in like your old, in the Firebird, driven up to this party, and you would have the exact same events occur. Like, why even go through the prom, the dresses and all this stuff for if you're not even going to go to prom. And it wasn't even their prom. Like, well, maybe the guys went there. Maybe the guys went to Hamilton.
The guys go there.
Okay. That makes sense. Because somebody does say yell out Jeff. One of the guys that gets getting moved yells out Jeff. So I guess the guys went to Hamilton High while the girls went to the Catholic school. That would make sense. Gone
to prom for 1 second and been like, this blows. Let's do, and like their plan could have been after party at the mountain house or whatever the hell. I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
The old monastery.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Like they should have done at least one scene in the prom. They could have said, this sucks, or we should leave early, or they even just say, hey, we're having a good time, but hey, can't wait till the after party when we go to my parents' special house or whatever it is. But yeah, like they completely skip prom altogether. So we have prom night with no prom. And so it's just a weird thing.
Very strange. Love it.
So where we are. So as they drive off, Mark and Jeff tell the girls they're taking them to Mark's parents' summer home, which is like an hour from here out in the middle of nowhere. And there's a shot of the limo driving, and all of a sudden it's fucking snowing now. It's snowing out of the middle of nowhere. It just came out. We haven't seen snow the whole time. Prom's supposed to be in the spring. You think springtime, warm weather, but now it's snowing. And I don't get it.
They're not properly dressed.
They're not at all. I don't get snowing out of nowhere. Because when they're mooning the people at prom, no snow. When they're getting in the cars, no snow. When the priest when Jonas got in the trucker's truck, no snow. But now this scene is like a blizzard. Like there is snow coming down. There's snow everywhere. The limo passes the truck that picked up Jonas, which is now on the side of the road with his hazard blinkers on. The camera pans over the truck, and the driver just falls out of the driver's seat side door dead, having his throat sliced open. That's the scene. The limo pulls up to the summer house, which, by the way, no snow now. Not snowing, but, whatever.
They just passed through a light blizzard.
Light blizzard. Yeah, just a little light blizzard. Mark tips the limo driver and tells him, hey, we'll see you on Monday. And the four head into the house, which used to be the old St. Basil seminary from the beginning of the movie.
And my dumbass didn't realize that. I think I missed like the POV shot. And so I was like, oh, this looks a lot like that place from the beginning, that weird cave. That's so weird. Anyway, second watch really did wonders for me. Anyway.
Love it. Yeah, I had a rant here about more snow, but I'm going to skip over it because I just don't understand why they kept showing snow and then no snow. But anyway, the inside, they complain about the smell. Like, this place smells weird. And Mark's like, I don't know, it's weird. And Mark gives them a tour of the place, which, again, we'll talk about weird. Like, if you give somebody a tour of your house, normally the first place, like, okay, here's the living room, here's the kitchen, blah, blah, blah. No, the first place on the tour Mark gives is the basement. The fucking basement. Who gives a house tour and starts in the basement? That's just weird to me. They open up
very proud of the wine collection.
Yes. So they open the basement door and they get hit like with the stink. And they find out that someone has stolen the freezer that was downstairs, but left all the frozen meat dumped on the floor to rot, which is causing the smell. This leads them to discover that all the appliances and electronics in the house have been stolen. Like, all of them. So
this is such an interesting plot point.
Kinda, yeah.
Like why? Not like interesting, not in like a good way. And like, why is this in the movie? I don't think it really does anything to move the plot at all.
It doesn't.
At any point.
It doesn't.
Not even at all.
And it doesn't move the plot along. It doesn't come back. There's never a scene like, oh shit, I really wish we had a fridge right now. Man, we could have stopped Jonas if we only had that microwave. Like, nothing.
It's not like they stole all the phones or something, and that's why they couldn't call the cops.
Exactly.
Like, no,
all the phones are there.
Phones were there.
But the oven and the microwave and the freezer, they're gone. Again.
Just to create that weird cooking scene where they just have rice.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
There's so many weird things. Like this. It's
so bizarre.
It's so bizarre. Megan says they should call the police, and report the stuff that they've been routed. Of course, Mark says no, because they're not supposed to be here, and you know this because horror movie logic is another reason why I say no.
Mhm.
Although I do gotta say, I think Mark's parents would probably get over the fact that they're not supposed to be there and more concerned that all their shit was taken. So I think they'd probably like, Mark, you shouldn't be here, but thank you for calling the cops. You did the right thing because all of our shit's gone. I don't think.
Also, eventually the cops are going to be called. And then, like, I don't know, in 92, they had fingerprinting. Did they not? Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
So then when they did call the cops, their fingerprints would be all over.
Yeah, that's
everything.
true. Their fingerprints are all over the door. So anyway, they all agree to stay anyway and make the best of it, which basically translates into drinking and fucking, which, I mean, why not?
It's prom, baby.
It's prom night. Yeah. We cut to outside where we get some POV footage.
I say that like I did that prom night, but no. Historically speaking, that's what prom night is.
Yes, historically, yes. We get some POV footage of someone creeping around outside the house and breathing all heavy. You know, that's same old shtick. And they're spying on Laura and Megan through a window as the two girls take inventory of what food's still in the house. Meanwhile, the guys have cleaned up all the meat in the basement and take it outside, causing it, you kind of get the product to kind of duck out of sight as they come out with the trash bags. Mark and Jeff then go back to the basement to find the giant, fully stocked wine cellar that Monica mentioned a little while ago. This is like baller. This is like Italian villa type shit. Like it's incredible.
It's massive. It's cavernous.
It is. Jeff wants to take a bunch of bottles, but Mark's like, no, the wine's worth more than the house. But Jeff's like, who cares? Just blame it on the thieves. And Mark's like, oh yeah, light bulb, ding, that makes sense. All right, let's party. So that's what they do. They take a bunch of wine upstairs and start partying. But now the prowler apparently looks like he has entered the house and is spying on the girls as Laura gets up, heads out to the shed to get some firewood from outside. And also now there's snow on the ground. I don't know what's happening. What is happening with the weather in this little community? Blizzard, no snow, now there's snow on the ground. Like it's just what the fuck is going on?
I want to know what the filming schedule was for this.
Yes,
what delays changed seasons throughout the filming process?
I thought that too. Like, did they have to we start in spring. They had a bunch of delays. No, we have to film like February now and try to play it off as spring. Like, yeah, this looks like it was shot through like an entire year of and they just didn't care about all the inconsistencies. Because, you know, the world, the people were clamoring for Prom Night 4 to come out. They had to get that shit out on a deadline.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. So inside, Mark showing Jeff some lingerie that he bought for Megan, who happens to walk up, and she's like, oh, okay. And she takes the lingerie and just heads upstairs to change into it. Again, yes, she's already wearing lingerie. We established that, which is still, I think, for an 18-year-old girl who's we've already know has self-image issues and is the good girl. I was like, I don't know, like many 18-year-olds that would are into garter belts, corsets, and thigh highs at 18, and our boyfriend buddy's like, oh, you bought more? All right, I'm gonna go put this on right now. Like that into it. I mean, as a guy, I'm like, yeah, awesome, great, but make things I don't think that would really happen. I don't know if she'd be that into oh, okay. It's weird. It's I don't know.
It was weird. Her whole demeanor changed once they got to the house. I don't know if she was just fully into it now or after her sexy experience with Laura, she's a changed woman.
It awakened her.
DTF. But she's before she's I'm not sure. And as she is wont to do.
Mm-hmm.
But then now she's okay, baby,
yep.
Let me go. Slip into something more comfortable. She's just immediately into all of the sexy things that are happening, and is the instigator for quite a few of them throughout the rest of the movie. So I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
something about that.
Maybe I think you're right. Maybe
that old monastery.
Maybe the juju of the monastery, or maybe someone maybe Laura awoken to her sexual being in her or something like that.
That or the rotten meat smell.
The rotten meat.
They're going. Yeah, it could be that common aphrodisiac.
Forget Hugo Boss and Polo Sport. Forget that. You get that rotten meat smell. That's what the girls want.
Oh God.
Yeah. So So anyway, yeah, so Megan just goes right upstairs, and we cut her in the lingerie, which is more black stockings with garter belts and a black lace bra and matching panties and blah, blah, blah. In comes Laura, and they talk about Megan losing her virginity tonight, and Megan puts her dress back on and rejoins the others downstairs by the fire in the fireplace, and that's basically the scene there, just shrunken down. Next is it's pretty boring. They just kind of sit around for the next few minutes. They kind of sit around down by the fire. They talk, they chit chat. Nothing really happens. I'm fast forwarding through this part because there's nothing to talk about.
It was a lot of filler.
Yeah, this is the filler section of the movie. At one point, they all get up and start slow dancing together. So I guess this is our prom. This is our prom at home moment, I guess. Megan then heads down into the wine cellar where she finds a small statue of Jesus on the floor. Which I think is the one that came to life and turned and looked at the camera earlier. Which how it got here, I don't know. She ends up getting scared by Mark, who came up from behind her. She drops a wine bottle on the floor, which shatters, cutting the bottoms of her feet.
Shatters, and she like jumps onto
it. Yes, thank you. Yeah, it shatters her feet, and she's like, "Oh, let me step over this." Just like, let me jump on it instead. Like
she pitter patters her feet on it too. I'm like, oh my God, stop.
It's like she's river dancing on the glass. That's basically what she's doing. So we cut to the prowler then entering the house again, and he ducks outside as Mark enters carrying Megan up the stairs. He places her on the couch and then he leaves. The phone rings. Megan answers it. On the other end is Jonas, who says, "I know who you are. I know what you did." Jonas calls her a cocksucker and a fucking whore and says it's too late for her now, and then hangs up.
Is that because she put on the lingerie? I think because he's like peeping on her. Because I was trying to figure it out. I was like, they didn't have sex already. Like they haven't had sex yet. She's still a virgin. But like we're going by these outdated horror rules, okay? You know, everyone deserves to be saved. But anyway, like. I don't like. She didn't do anything. I was like, it didn't happen yet. The business has not been done.
Now it makes sense. If Laura answered the phone, that would make sense for him to say that. If Laura was the one who answered the phone.
Well, he already knew. Well, like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I
think it was because she put on the lingerie. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense at all. Unless Jones just hates women in general, and I guess could be a thing too. I don't know. Mark comes back with a first aid box to bandage up her feet. She tells him about the call. Again, Mark blows it off, saying it was probably just Jeff, which makes no fucking sense, because how the hell would Jeff be able to call the house from the house? Like, hello, it's the 90s. It's not like they have, cell phones.
I didn't even think about that.
You can't call the house from the house. So I don't know. Meanwhile, upstairs, Laura and Jeff are in the first class section of the train to Pound Town, and they are going at it.
Wait. You forgot the best.
Okay, what did I forget?
They do a jump scare that is a sex.
Oh, the sex scene. Yes, the sexy jump scene. The sex jump scare. I didn't know how to describe that, but yes, it's great. Like, okay, it's kind of high, but like it's the
cut
sex
to
jump
Laura, and she's like, ah, and you're like, oh my God, she's being killed. No,
nope, she's getting railed.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the sex jump scare. I can't think of many other people that have done it, but yeah.
It was creative. I liked that one.
So thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, I totally left that out. So we cut to Jonas lurking in the basement now. He hears Laura moaning through the air vents, and this causes him to like spring into action now. Which again, which now makes me question, like I said about Jeff, how does Jonas call the house from the house? If he's been in the basement, how is he calling the living room phone? Like, what? Huh? It doesn't make zero sense.
Another one of his powers.
He has powers over the phone lines. Right?
He can control the phones.
Outside, we cut to John outside with a video camera filming Laura and Jeff fucking through a window. Now, again, remember, Laura and Jeff are supposed to be like 18-year-old kids, but damn, do they fuck like porn stars. Because seriously, at one point, they are having sex standing up. And I don't know about you guys, but if you know, that is fucking hard. That is not like sex 101. That, like, I don't know what 18-year-old kid is banging like that. Like, that shit takes some real skill and experience to do it standing up. Like, that is not easy.
Also, like, can we talk about this brother? Like,
yes!
someone needs to sedate him. Like, please.
This kid's more of a menace than Jonas is at times.
Is he old enough to drive? How the fuck
How
did he
get there? He's certainly not old enough to drive. He's 14 at
he's
minimum.
Planning on filming this and distributing
Oh,
it.
yes. John, because he lowers his camera and says, this is going to be worth a fortune. And then he turns to leave for some reason. Because, like, I'm sorry, but if you're filming a sex tape, why would you stop recording in the middle of the sex? Like, you would wait for, I don't know, the money shot, like, henceforth the fortune, the money shot, then stop recording? Otherwise, what's the point? Like, so...
It's obviously his first time.
It's his first time.
Illegally and non-consensually filming a porno. I know, and it's his fucking last time, too.
His first and last time. Because as soon as he turns to walk away, he bumps into Jonas, who's now outside. He screams, yet no one in the house hears him, even though he's, like, right outside. Like, there's no noise because there's no stereo playing because all that's gone. And no reason for he's screaming loud. Like, he should be heard. Out in the middle of nowhere, sound travels. It's not like there's city cars and all this stuff going around him. Anyway, Jonas lifts him up off the ground with one hand again and seems to crush his skull or neck. I don't fucking know because it's not shown. All we get is like the sounds of bones crushing or crunching. And then we see John drop to the ground with blood all over his face. That's it.
For me is that, like, good riddance with John. I'm chill with him being dead. I know he is a child, but he freaks me out.
No, he would have been on a
evil powers would he have gotten?
He was gonna be on like a watch list when he got older or something. He was going down the wrong road. He was not going to be
a dark path.
So yeah, I agree. Like, John dead doesn't bother me in the bit. He's done. We cut to Mark and Megan. They start kissing. They're making out. And we jump right back to Laura, naked, taking a shower. And again, gotta say, she's got a great little body on her. She's smoking hot. After the shower, she puts on some different, just totally different now, silky lingerie thing. So it's like the second or third set of lingerie this girl has. Like, again, how many 18-year-old kids have like full... like wardrobes of lingerie all just lying around? Like, that's a lot.
A great allowance.
Yeah, that shit's expensive. Like, how do they afford that? So she heads back to the bedroom to find Jeff, like, laying on the bed fully covered. Okay.
Wait. You can't move past that part until this because it comes back.
Okay.
As soon as she gets out of the shower and puts on her silky lingerie, she draws a little smiley face in the steam on the mirror, which comes back later on.
Yeah, I have that in my notes when it comes back. But yeah, go ahead and bring.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Like, this is where it brings up. It's worth mentioning now.
It's just so weird. I guess it's supposed to be like, oh, I'm so happy I just had sex.
Yeah,
what
look how
great
cute.
Time.
The smiley face in the mirror. Boop. So she goes back to the bed, finds Jeff on the bed, like, fully covered in sheets. Just from head to toe, he's underneath the sheets. Can't see him. She's playfully teasing him some, and she's about to go to pull the sheets down off him when she hears a banging sound. She gets scared. She sits down on the bed, calling for Jeff. The doorknob begins to shake and rattle. And that's when Jonas springs up from under the covers and grabs her, covers her mouth so she can't scream. We cut to outside the bedroom where Jeff is trying to open the bedroom door, but he's got his hands full of, like, wine and glasses and a bottle opener and all this stuff. And he's like, got one of the wine glasses in his mouth. He's like, open the door, Laura, open it. He can't. That's the whole bit.
From the other side of the door, it sounded like supernatural moaning.
Yeah.
And like an evil demon was on the other side.
So he sets a lot of stuff down, tries to open the door, but now it's locked. We jump back to Megan and Mark. They get interrupted by Jeff telling them that Laura locked him out of the bedroom. Mark's like, fuck off, dude. I want to get back to making out. But Megan's like, no, maybe something might be wrong with Laura. We got to go. So they head up to join Jeff, where they try the door again. It opens right up. Like, it was never locked. And when they go inside, Laura's nowhere to be found. And this is where I mentioned the smiley face. So, like Monica said, she draws a smiley face on the mirror when she gets out of the shower. But when they're looking around for her, when they go into the bathroom, nobody notices it, just for the audience. But you see that the smiley face has now been turned into a frowny face. Okay, so Jonas has time to put like emojis in the mirror now. And also, can we talk about the impossibility of this?
Stupid. Yes, thank you. There was no more steam to cover
exactly.
up the mouth.
So that means Jonas had time. The only way this works is if Jonas went into the bathroom, turned on the shower to steam up the mirror a second time, then went over to the mirror to draw the now frowny face from where the smiley face used to be. And then somehow still get Laura and himself out of this bedroom before being spotted. Like, that's insane. That thing, it just doesn't work.
Stupid.
It's so stupid.
They're like, oh, it's a frowny now because she's dead. I'm like, okay, cool. Great imagery that you've used here in the film. It's called cinema, baby.
So I just love the idea that it's like, this is too good. I can't do this. Oh, we're going to steam up. They're going to love this. And he goes and steams up the mirror again.
Even if he's just going up to the mirror and he's like on it to steam it up a little bit,
I guess you could do
that is still hilarious.
Yeah, they took the time to do that. So anyway, they split up to go look for Laura. Meg and Mark go downstairs while Jeff takes the upstairs. Also, I want to mention that for someone who got their feet, basically did a jig on broken glass, her broken wine bottles, Megan seems to walk around perfectly fine, almost like it never happened. You know, I mean, fuck, even John McClane limped, you know, in Die Hard. I mean, goddamn. So Mark ends up going down to the wine cellar where he finds a hidden room behind a broken section of wall. And actually, it's more like he found the fucking French catacombs because he goes under there and it's like, hey, I'm in a wine cellar and suddenly I'm in a medieval catacomb and dungeon. Like, it's that like drastic of a change from the set, from the scenery here where we're at.
Seriously, is this going to cause like structural damage to the home if there's a series of catacombs beneath the foundation? Like,
it should be a sinkhole. Yeah, that should be sink. Yeah, man. I was like, oh my God, okay, we're going here. All right, we got medieval catacombs underneath a Canadian monastery.
Wait, I recently saw this like post. It was like a Zillow post that someone posted on Twitter, and it was something super similar.
Oh my God,
like,
are you talking about this?
Room?
Yeah, they had like a hidden room that actually went into like a cave.
And it went into like an unfinished cave. Like,
yes,
right
I saw that too.
Room.
Yes.
It's the same shit as this.
I thought it was a bedroom,
God.
but yeah, the same thing. I saw the same, like, that's awesome. It's
awesome,
thing.
but I'm also like, is this like, was torture being done in this room?
Yeah,
Was this like the official torture room? Very alarming.
Yeah,
Maybe
I don't want to know how haunted that cave
by
is.
Prom 4, Deliver Us from Evil. You don't, there's no way to know for sure.
Man, yeah. I can't believe you saw that. We both saw that. That's crazy. So,
we're on the same side of Twitter.
Yeah, I guess so. Mark heads down. He goes down to it and onto the catacombs, and he finds Jonas's old room, the one where he was like whipping himself or something like that.
The flagellation station.
Yes.
That just came to me. I'm sorry.
Oh, no need to apologize for that. That's good. Actually, I'm gonna give you a little applause for that one. You get some applause for that. So we cut back to Jeff, who is now headed up to the attic, and he sees someone sitting in an old rocking chair with their back to him. And nope, that's not ominous at all.
It's giving Black Christmas.
Yeah, it's very Black Christmas. Yeah, the good one.
Yes. To be clear.
Although the second remake wasn't terrible. The first, I take that back. The first remake, second of the three, but the first remake.
The one with Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
With the hottest cast of a horror movie ever assembled. Oh. My God.
Yeah. I had way too high of hopes for that, and so it really crashed and burned for me. I really thought it was going to be incredible, and it was really not. So that's on me.
Yeah. I mean, overall, it's not bad. It's fine. Now, the third one, the 2019, holy fucking shit. We can go on a rant on that one.
I'm not going to watch it. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to see it.
Never do.
I watched the trailer. I was like, dear God.
It's nothing like the originals. They just stole the name to cash grab it. as a matter of fact, that movie actually just won this year's Horrible Horror March Movie Madness Tournament of Awfulness. That was our worst of the worst champion for this year.
Oh my God. Congratulations to them.
Yeah.
For doing a shit job.
As voted on by our fans and listeners. They voted that the worst movie we'd covered in the last year. Where were we? He's down. Jeff, the rocking chair. There we are.
Rocking chair.
Of course, he thinks the person in the rocking chair is Laura because he's got blonde hair. He walks up to the person in the chair, places a hand on their shoulder, and the person spins around, grabs Jeff's hand, and no one's fucking surprised, of course. It's Jonas, only instead of a blonde wig, I think he's actually wearing Laura's scalp on his head because there's like blood coming down.
I think he scalped her. Later on in the film, it looks like she has hair on her head. But I think he scalped her, and that leads us back to our frowny face predicament. He had time to scalp her and do the frowny face thing. He's quick. Yeah.
And still somehow, somewhere hide a body. Because we never see her body once she gets kidnapped. So, but I kind of love that he's actually wearing her scalp, because that's pretty cool. Jonas turns around and looks at Jeff's like, "Who are you gonna fuck now, Jeff?" And then grabs Jeff by the head, grabs him by the head, tells him to repent his sins, and then starts reciting the Lord's Prayer while squeezing Jeff's head like he's trying to like get juice out of a lemon. Like he is squeezing the. He
like crushes his skull. I think that's what happens.
That's exactly what happens. He lifts Jeff off the ground by the sides of his head. He's squeezing his head so hard that he can literally pick him up off the ground that way and continues to crush his head. So at this point I said, I guess the power of Christ compels him because Jeff is screaming out, but of course again, no one else can hear him. Jonas crushes his skull with his bare hands and then tosses Jeff's limp, dead body aside like it's used tissue paper and just blah, done. And that's it. Jeff's dead.
R.I.P. Jeff. Too bad the insulation's so good in this house.
Apparently,
no one can hear you when you scream.
It's just like outer space, like Alien. No one can hear you. Which is honestly like odd because this is like an old stone building. That shit would be echoing.
I know.
So hard.
I'm sorry, but the quote, "Who are you gonna fuck now, Jeff?" He has so many good lines. Jonas. Really oh my, they're so good. And he says them all with the same like venom.
He's so intense. He's so intense and into it. I love it.
And he's got the best crazy eyes in the game. Like that look. That could kill you.
Yeah,
just
he does have some great intent. Yeah, very. I didn't even think about bringing up that. I'm glad you did. We go back to Megan and Mark, and they're in the basement still. They head up to the main floor looking for Jeff and Laura. Can't find them. So they decide to check the attic next. Of course, why not? In the attic, they find some lit candles, but no sign of Jeff or Laura. Hell, at this point, I think even the rocking chair is gone. I don't know. I didn't see it, but it's very dark. But I think the rocking chair is just gone.
Oh, wait. No, it might have been still rocking, but no one's in it. Is that another movie I'm thinking of?
Maybe.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I don't remember seeing the rocking chair when they came back. Megan does find a bloody rag on the floor along with some bloody footprints. So Megan shows Mark the bloody rag, and again, she's like, "We should call the cops." And Mark's like, "Nah, I got this. I'm gonna go find out what's going on myself. I'm gonna go out to the woodshed."
Idiot. There's blood everywhere.
It's like, what? I'm gonna go out to the woodshed. He just walks out of the attic with Megan running after him. Like, are you fucking kidding me? You have your two friends are now missing. You have a bloody rag and bloody footprints on the floor. You've had your girlfriend already report of a like the scary phone call, and all your shit's been stolen. Not that that's related, but and you're still like, nah, ain't gonna call the cops. We're good. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Horror movie logic. I love it.
God.
So outside, the two of them head to the woodshed, calling out for Jeff and Laura, and then this is fucking amazing. This honestly, never would have guessed this was gonna happen at all. But it's awesome.
It's beautiful.
Just out of the blue, I know where two giant wooden crucifixes erupt into flames and nailed to them like Jesus are fucking Jeff and Laura's dead bodies.
That deserves a round of applause. Come on.
There we go.
Just beautiful imagery. Bringing it back to the stigmata. Wow, themes are being represented here.
It was incredible. Like I fucking loved it. And honestly, if you put it, that's pretty fucking scary. Like that would be terrifying. Just run out, all of a sudden these two giant crucifixes erupt into flames, and there's corpses hanging from in your backyard.
And it's your two best friends.
Yeah, like holy shit, that'd be so damn scary.
And at this point, they aren't sure that something's going on. So they're like, oh, they might be hurt.
Yeah.
But it goes from like, 20% scary, 40 maybe, to 100,000. Like they're dead. They've been dead. And now they're on fire.
On a crucifix in your backyard.
And there's infrastructure to the horror that is about to ensue.
Yes. It's completely ridiculous when you start to think about how much time and effort it would take to set that up. Yeah. And then to have it like on like a detonator or a timer so it erupts at the right burst into flames at the right time. But at the same time, fucking loved it. It's awesome.
Incredible.
Mark and Megan run back inside the house as one of the bodies, they show the crucifix and one of the bodies just falls off. Like it burned off. It just plops to the ground. Like I don't know if that was intentional or not, but like, all right. Finally, Megan goes to call the police. She dials 911 and gets the automated message saying that there is no 911 service in that area and to call their local police department. And like, wow, like that dates this movie because I can actually remember the days when there really wasn't 911 in like everywhere you went. Like there was a time when that happened. That was
a real thing.
Yeah. Like in some rural areas, like where my parents, my family, we had this generational like family summer house, and it's kind of up in this rural area. It's not like by any major cities. And when I was growing up there, I was saying like there was no 911, which is our problem. You had to call like the police department for the next town over because there was no 911. Now there is, but that was a real thing. I'm like, holy shit, like that. I remember those days.
What? I don't know. Well, could it not have forwarded to the operator or something so you could get the number for the police department? Like, oh my
you would
God.
think that makes sense. Like, here's the number, but I know, like, no, please don't hang up and call your local police department if this is an emergency.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that was some preposterous thing. I was like, oh, another unbelievable moment.
No, that's real. That's a
real.
legit thing.
Okay,
and in 1991,
yeah,
back in 91, we didn't get the 911 service till like the 2000s or something like that. Like, so it was, it was a thing.
Wow.
So Mark grabs a crowbar for some and starts beating on a locked cabinet door. Like, it's really abrupt and it doesn't make any sense. It just cuts to me like banging the shit out of some lock or something. Like, all right, there's no context to this yet. He's just going crazy. I'm like, what? I don't know. Like, and again, I'm like, because there's no context. Like, why is he beating on this lock instead of like, I don't know, locking the doors or like maybe run out to get the car started and leaving? Like, why is he wasting his time beating on this lock? Megan,
well, they don't have a car, right? Because
that's right. They
don't
limo.
know Jonathan even showed up, and how the fuck did Jonathan get there? Maybe
we don't know.
Flew. Like, no one knows.
That's right. They don't have a car. I forgot. Well, that's one point. He could at least be locking the doors then. Anyway, Megan gets the operator, begs him to send the cops. Mark breaks the lock on the trunk, camera, whatever this is, and he rummages through, and he finds a revolver and a box of bullets. So like, okay, makes sense now.
Good to have.
He runs back to Megan just in time to find Jonas standing behind her, knife raised. He shouts out. Megan turns around just in time to move out of the way of Jonas's downward stab at her. She runs over to Mark, who yells for her to, and Mark's like, "Get out of here, go, get!" And so she runs off. Mark struggles to load the revolver as Jonas starts approaching it, but he does get the gun loaded. And I don't understand, instead of fucking shooting Jonas, which he's right there, just bang, bang, end this, you will not believe what he does next. So listeners, if you want to take a guess at what he does, I'll give you a quick second here to think about it. What does Mark do here? Well, I'll tell you what he does. Monica, you know what, Monica, why don't you tell these what the fucktard does, what this dumbass does? You go ahead. If you remember.
You've asked me at the one point where I forgot what happened. I don't remember. What does he do?
He runs up the fucking stairs and away from Jonas. The guy with the gun runs away instead of shooting him.
Stairs.
Up,
I remember
yes,
this now.
Up the stairs.
The stairs. The
like,
last thing you should ever do, but everyone always does.
I know. It's in our theme song, goddammit. Don't do it. I'm like, are you kidding me? Jonas has a knife. Mark has a gun. Jonas has now literally brought a knife to a gunfight, and Mark is the running away. Not Jonas, but Mark. I'm like, what the shit is happening? Why? Why is he running instead of just shooting Jonas? Just shoot him. Like, at this point, hell, he even had the high ground on the stairs. And we've all learned from Obi-Wan what happens when you have the high ground. But Mark never fires a single shot. He just keeps running.
Oh my God. He's like, I got this gun, but I was just kind of hoping that Megan would know how to shoot it. Because I don't really know how to shoot it. I thought just the waving it around would do the trick.
I just hope they scare him. It's a big revolver, too. It is not a tiny little small. It's like a Dirty Harry type Magnum. It's like Barry Burton's gun from Resident Evil 1. It's huge. It is a giant Rick Grimes revolver. I could not believe what I was watching at this point. So Jonas chases Mark, the man with the gun, all the way up to the attic. Mark slams the attic door closed. He locks it. But Jonas, fueled by the power of Christ, Jonas kicks it open. Just bam, kicks it open the locked door.
Oh my God.
And now he's armed with his crucifix sword. His sword affix is back. He's got that.
Thank
the
God.
knife's gone.
Thank God he's got the sword affix.
It's back. And I'm like, where'd that come from? Because he just had a regular knife. Now it's a sword affix. And I don't know. It's just magic, I guess. It's his demon magic.
Beneath his priestly robes,
maybe.
He's got like a whole arsenal.
He's like the merchant from Resident Evil 4.
Water.
He's just
got
like,
that. What's that thing you were talking about earlier?
The Aspergillum?
Yes,
Gilliam?
I would never have been able to pull that out, so thank God. He's got that in there. Anything you could need.
Yeah, he's like, what you want, stranger? It's just, he's got an arsenal in his robes. Oh my God. So Mark, still refusing to even try to shoot Jones, decides, you know what? I'm going to climb out the window onto the roof now. So that's what he does. And Jones like, well, fuck that. I'm just going to stab you. So he just starts stabbing up through the attic floorboards, through the ceiling.
They do so much feet shit in this movie, and it fucks me up so bad.
It's insane. It's so bad. I mean,
stabbing through the floor really scares me. I don't like that. You don't know where to go.
Yeah. So seeing the crucifix sword come stabbing up through the roof, Mark finally is like, oh, now I guess I'll take some shots. He shoots twice through the roof, but misses. Excuse me. But he totally misses Jones. Jones stabs up through the ceiling, the roof again. This time the sword affix impales up through Mark's foot.
I gagged.
That looked proper painful, man. That did not look pleasant at all. This causes Mark to drop the revolver, which slides down and off the roof. When Jones pulls the sword, the crucifix sword, out of Mark's foot, he drops down to the roof and starts to slide down. Jones stabs up again, missing Mark, but Mark grabs the blade with his hands to keep him from falling off the roof. And it's awkward. They kind of linger on these shots a little too long, I think, because he's just sitting there holding this blade for like 10, 20 seconds. It feels like forever before Jones pulls it back down again. Mark slides some more. Jones stabs back up, misses. Mark grabs the blade again. And again, lingers there for like, it feels like an eternity. It's probably like 10 seconds, but it feels so long.
The pacing is not great.
Yeah, it's not. So finally, Jonas just pulls the blade back in one last time. Mark slides off the roof, falls to the ground. Megan comes running out of the house, runs up to Mark. She like gets down by him. She's holding his head in her hands as he struggles to breathe. And then we see Jonas, like, I don't know what more magic powers. He's like standing on a windowsill, or either that, or he's just fucking levitating, or he's like Spider-Man now. He's just standing there, I guess levitating midair, and he just throws the sword affix down. He's like, whop, and just throws it, wham, impales Mark right in the heart with it, and he's dead.
Great aim.
Great aim while he's like levitating in midair out a window. Because he's not in the window throwing it out the window. His whole body is outside the house. He's like perched, but he's standing straight up. It's crazy. So,
oh my God.
But I love it at the same time. It's so bad.
It's great. It's wonderful. When will his powers end? Like
limitless.
Like what can he not do?
Exactly. Jonas then just jumps down. He just jumps right down, laying right behind Megan, who screams, runs back into the house.
This fall might have killed lesser men.
it did kill lesser men, barely. Because I think Mark was going to die anyway. Yeah. But yeah, he just jumps down like nothing. Jonas goes in after her. Megan goes back down into the fucking cellar because, yeah, let's go up either to the attic or the cellar. Let's just keep cornering ourselves in the worst possible places.
But
and
before she goes down there, she fucking takes off her goddamn fucking shoes.
That's right.
Because her shoes have mud on them. And I was like, they're going to do more foot shit, aren't they?
Of course they are.
God damn it.
Goddamn right they are. So she hides among the wine bottles. In comes Jonas with his sword affix. Megan then accidentally steps on more glass, cutting her feet again, giving away her position. But she's able to somehow sneak back upstairs, but she's leaving bloody footprints behind her, which Jonas is able to follow very easily. The bloody footprints lead Jonas to a cabinet underneath the kitchen sink. He kneels down, opens the cabinet, and Megan sprays him in the face with like an aerosol can of roach killer. That shit would burn, man. That would suck.
Yeah, that's just poison.
Yeah.
Innovative on Megan's part.
Yeah,
okay.
Good. Applause for Megan. That was good. Give her credit. Because Jonas falls back screaming, clutching at his eyes. She runs outside, finds the revolver on the ground that Mark dropped. Then it runs back inside to get more bullets for it. And she very easily and quickly gets that gun reloaded. Just like nothing. Mark struggles. She's like, boop, 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 loaded. The phone rings. Megan goes over and answers it. It's the police calling back to verify that someone from this number called for help. And she's like, yes, I made the call. But then Jonas then pops on the line. Like he picks up the phone somewhere else in the house. I
forgot about this part.
He's like, damn, Mom, I'm on the phone. Get off the phone. I got it. But Jonas is like, nope, Jonas is on there. He's like, it's out of your hands now, officer. It's in the hands of the Lord. Click. And then Megan.
The theatrics.
Megan hangs up the phone, starts looking around for Jonas, who we hear whispering her name. He's doing the whispering thing again. And again, instead of just heading for the doors and getting the fuck out of the house, she starts wandering around the dark house. It's like everything's dark now, and she's wandering around in it. She goes over to a window, pulls the curtain back, and sees Jonas standing there. She fires off a shot, then runs away as Jonas punches through the window again. Fucking love it. She runs outside, sees Jonas, fires another shot, misses, then runs away again while popping off 3 more shots. So that's 5 rounds she's fired so far out of this gun. She runs.
How many does that type of gun have? 6. All right.
She runs to the woodshed and waits for Jonas to enter the doorway. And he does. As soon as he pops up, she fires another shot, hitting him in the chest, sending him flying to the ground. So that's 6. Jonas lays there motionless as Megan whimpers and cries. She starts like praying, like, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. Forgive me for whatever it is. And on that cue, Jonas just pops up in front of her face, like, wham, right there. Just, wah!
Surprise. You called for the Lord?
You called, I answered, bitch. He stands up, pulls out his Aspergillum again, filled with his magic fire water, because he starts spritzing it, and everything he spritzes with it just bursts into flames. It's just fire. Remember, this is water he's supposed to be spritzing, but it's just everything. He just
the igniter in there too. Like, what the hell is this thing?
I fucking love it. Just fire, fire, fire. And so the stack of wood erupts in flames to her left, and then a pile of some other shit goes up in flames on her right, and she's trapped in between the fire. And Jonas just keeps flickering his magic fire water all over the shed, starting more and more fires everywhere. Megan then arms herself Megan, one of her arms is on fire. You actually see, like, her arm's on fire. She picks up a shovel, whacks Jonas with it, causing him to drop the Aspergillum, which sets him on fire. Because it's like, it just falls like at his feet, and he erupts
fire.
And he blows up in flames. Just goes up. Megan hits Jonas again with the shovel as the flames spread over his whole body. Now, I will say this, because you haven't seen that too, but the Prom Night series here, love their full body burns. Because I think this is the third movie in a row now that has a full body burn in it.
Oh my God.
And it looks great. Again, they do a good job. Jonas, completely engulfed in flames, throws something at Megan. She dodges, then swings the shovel at him again. He grabs it, and they struggle for fight for control of the shovel. Excuse me. And I have to give major props and credit to the two stunt people doing this, because Jonas is just at this point a walking fireball.
Yeah.
Megan has one arm on fire, and they're fighting over a shovel while the whole woodshed around them is on fire. And apparently Jonas at this point just can't take it anymore. He falls to the ground screaming and flailing around as he burns. Megan puts her, pats the fire out on her arm. She slams the woodshed doors closed, uses the shovel to barricade the doors from the outside, and she takes off running. Now, we're going to bookend this movie just like it started. It's fucking awesome. As she runs away, the woodshed fucking explodes like it was rigged with C4 and napalm. Like, this thing...
What was in that wood?
Thank you! What was in this thing? Because this explosion is massive. It is like a small nuclear missile went off in these people's backyard. And it's like you get a couple... It's like ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. It's amazing. And Megan the explosion sends Megan flying. She through the air. She lands on the ground where she starts laser and cries. It's awesome.
Amazing. This is an insanely weird, shitty movie, but like it has some golden moments.
It does. It really does. We cut to the next morning. Cops and EMTs have arrived. Megan's loaded up into the back of one ambulance. The camera pans over to the black burn stain that used to be the woodshed. There's nothing left of this thing except for a black stain on the grass. That's how big this explosion was. It vaporized everything, apparently. So, in the back of another ambulance, the cardinal, who is there now, who just shows up. The cardinal's there. And he pulls back a sheet to reveal the blackened, charred body of Jonas, who looks like Anakin after his fight with Obi-Wan, which I call fucking bullshit, because like we just saw what was left of the woodshed, which was nothing. Like, he should be bloody chunks. He should not be a person anymore. He would be...
He would have exploded.
Yes, exactly. He should be nothing but bits and blood and just vaporized. But yet, like, Jonas's body is still in one piece. I'm like, fuck that bullshit. That makes zero sense. Now, what's even more fucking bullshit is Jonas opens his fucking eyes. This fucker's still alive somehow. What in the blue? How would he survive that?
He is eternal.
He is. This guy is is immortal.
Just wait till the next day and he's gonna be hot and sexy and like 34 again.
He's like Wolverine. He just heals everyone up.
Regenerative.
But so, and that's not even the weird. It gets even weirder. There's more weird. So as soon as Jonas opens his eyes, we cut to Megan in her ambulance, clothes, and her eyes pop open. Like they're psychically linked now or some bullshit. What? Okay. And then it just it zooms, like it stays on her eyes. It's like almost like a freeze frame. Her eyes pop open at the same time as Jonas does. The ambulance drives off. The camera pans over to the house. We fade to black. Roll credits. That is Prom Night 4. Deliver Us from Evil.
Wow.
Wow, what a ride. What a film. It's incredible. So, all right, let's move on to our favorite kill.
Don't act like you didn't love it. Favorite kill.
All right, so Megan, or I'm sorry, Monica, you're saying Megan. Start with you.
Them names.
Yeah, the M's. What was your favorite kill?
Call me Mark if you'd like.
Thank God, what your name not like Laura or Lucy or something. Lana. Yeah. What was your favorite kill of this movie?
It's hard because they're all so amazing. I really like the head squishing for Jeff.
Okay.
Just because I really enjoyed him like screaming the Lord's Prayer at him during that moment. That's like the intensity of that, and that line just before, "Oh, you're gonna fuck now, Jeff." That was incredible. So I really, that was fun. I didn't know that he could squish heads, and now I do, and so thank you for that.
All right, my favorite kill. This is a tough one. I'm torn. I'm bookending this. I'm either going with the opening kills in 1957 or Jones's kill at the end, because they both involved fucking massive explosions that I was not expecting at the time.
You're a fire guy.
So I think I'm going to go with the opening kills because that set the tone for this whole movie, and you get 2 kills in one, but just the fact that when he starts sprinkling the holy water that erupts into flames and causes the car to explode, and in the first like 3 minutes of the movie, I'm like, all right, I'm hooked. I'm good. This got me. So I think I'm gonna go.
He's also got the candle mood setting.
Yeah, he set the mood.
And
he was a little romantic.
He stabs the dude and pushes him back in. He's like, "Go back to your slut."
Yeah. I wish he would have said that. That would have been great if he actually would have said that.
He does. He does say that.
Oh, he did say that? I missed that. Oh, how did I miss that?
He literally says that. He pushes him back and says, "Go back to your slut."
That's amazing. Okay, boom, there it is. Opening kill. That's my opening scene. Oh, man. All right, so now before we move on to our normal post-movie stuff, our odds and ends, let's, on your guys' show, Spooky Tuesday, I believe you guys have 2 bits where you do Stupid Bitch, I believe. And
dumb bitch, but yes.
A dumb bitch. Okay. So so who's, I guess, your dumb bitch in this movie? Because there's not a whole lot of options here. So I don't know. What are you doing?
It's a toss up for me between Mark and Colin. Because Mark won't call the goddamn cops, and that's maddening.
Yes.
Jeff is just a silly boy. He doesn't factor in here. But Colin, just immediately decides to change his entire job description and thinks he, Father Colin, young priest, can save the mortal soul of Jonas the devil. And yeah, so that's pretty fucking dumb. I wouldn't give it to Jonas because he's too cool, even though he sucks really bad. But he is trying to like maybe call out the Catholic Church at one point. So I think it might be Colin. What do you think?
I'm kind of leaning to tending to agree with you on that. I think it's Colin too, because he's really, if it wasn't for him, nothing would have happened.
In this situation.
Yeah, like he's the one who thought he was so smart and that he could fix Jonas that when everybody else failed, and he's the one who let Jonas out, and Yeah, so I'm guessing.
He's the one who gave him that sexy haircut and shave.
I think that's
Made
what
him
empowered
have, like,
Jonas.
his powers. Yes,
Yes.
thank you. He had that sexy ponytail,
He's
and that made his powers increase tenfold.
he's the reverse Samson. The longer his hair gets, the weaker he becomes. But you take the hair off, and he suddenly becomes God. He's the reverse Samson.
Colin, you should have known.
Yep. So I think I'm agreeing with you. I think I'm gonna go with Colin too. So we already touched on a little bit on it with the Laura Megan scene, but you also have the make it more gay segment, right?
How could it be gayer? Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So let's take us through that for us.
I mean, this movie already has a lot going on. I can't comment on the gay kiss between Jonas and Father Jaeger at the beginning because I just can't really parse through what was occurring at that time. But we do get gay kisses on two sides. So you get a male, female. Well, you don't get a female kiss, but you get a female scene.
Mm-hmm.
So that's exciting. I mean, we could have had it be real.
Yeah.
That could have been a real thing between Laura and Megan. That would have been awesome instead of whatever baffling thing did occur, because I still can't parse through what was going on there. Was Laura trying to figure some things out? If so, she didn't act that part really out all the way.
I'm going with that theory. I'm thinking Laura was trying to act something or kind of get some pent out like maybe sexual tension or sexual confusion out.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I agree with you too, because I think that maybe Laura's just trying to. She's young. She's discovering her libido, as we can see in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But there's that point where she gets down to pray to God, and she's like, "I'm sorry, God, because I faked it both times we had sex today, or whatever."
Did she say fake it, or did I enjoy it both times, or something? I don't know.
She said that I think she said she faked it both times.
Okay.
So if that's the case, then maybe,
maybe she is. Yeah.
Maybe she's just with Jeff because, he's around and he's down. But Megan is really the apple of her eye, which I would love, because then they could have just run off together and not gone to a weird half snow, half not snow monastery house filled with rotten meat. I feel like they would have had a better time if they had gone to prom.
Yeah, lesson learned. If people just be yourselves, man. Don't try to hide it. Just wave your freak flag.
Also, like, they're in these fancy ass dresses. They don't want to show that shit off at prom. I don't know.
Yeah, you think you can be?
You just got ready for 4 hours, and you're just gonna go to a mountain with these two dudes?
Yeah, without showing that shit off. Yeah, that's a great point. Like, you don't buy that dress and those dresses not to be seen in them.
No, yeah, that's half the fun. Is just be like, yes, I do clean up nice. Goodbye.
Here's a point or something I just thought of. Now I agree with you. I like the theory that Laura is, I think, actually maybe she's bi or she's just a lesbian who's confused at the time. But this goes back to getting rid of John. That whole character is stupid and he doesn't need to be there. But since we're sticking on the topic of sins and the Catholic Church and their weird views and everything, you could have had John replaced by a gay friend who shows up and Joan kills him for being gay. I mean, not saying that's right, but that would fit in with like the whole view of the Catholic Church that gay is wrong, gay is sin, and all that. And that would have, I think, that would have been a better fit. I think that would have fit the story, fit in better with what Jonas was doing than just having this weird, creepy kid going around filming people having sex.
Yeah, I don't like to see another gay person die, but at the same time, I didn't like to see any single thing that John did.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it would fit with the theme. I agree with you. I mean,
I
kill him
like
just
the
because
theme of Catholicism and that ass backward views. Yeah,
especially at this time, in the late '80s, early '90s when all that was going on. All right, so there we go. That's our dumb bitch, not stupid, dumb bitch, and let's make it more gay moments. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the odds and ends.
Just when you thought it was over, here comes the odds and ends.
All right, so we look up the ratings of all the movies. So IMDb gives it a 4.1 out of 10. This is exciting. Rotten Tomatoes, I'm excited by this because we now have Another new member to join the official 0% club. That's right. This has a 0% on the thermometer, joining such fine movies as Slaughter High, Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer, Drainiac, Leprechaun 2, Troll 2, Repossessed, The Horrible Dr. Bones, and Leprechaun Origins. So that all, and this Prom Night 4 is now part of the 0% club. Congratulations. But it does
accomplishment.
That takes some skill to be the 0%. It does, however, have a whopping 12% audience score. So not favored highly on Rotten Tomatoes.
I can't understand why.
But then Amazon gives it a 3.4 out of 5 because Amazon's always messed up.
It's always off.
Plot keywords. There were 39 total plot keywords. Here we go. Here's some of the ones that we got. We have bare breasts, casual sex standing up, Canucksploitation, putting on stockings. Now I wish Aaron was here for this because for these next few, because the first one I would need him to drop a beat for me. Because we have Psychotronic as back again. We still have no idea what the fuck a psychotronic film is, but they keep popping up on our shows.
I like it. It's provocative.
Yeah, psychotronic film. And finally, after a bit of a break, our pervs are back in force with this one because we got black bra and panties, red bra and panties, girl in bra and panties, and panties are back as plot keywords for this movie. The pervs are back in full force.
Where do you see these? Are these on IMDb?
Yep, you go IMDb, look up plot keywords, and you get a list. And on our show,
this is just like the same people who are writing the trivia, being like, just so you know, there's some pennies in this.
Yeah, it's
like,
people saying plot keyword. What's this movie? Exactly. Like when we first started the show years ago, like we went on a string, like it was like 10 movies in a row, where all of them had panties as a plot keyword. And we're like, damn, there's some panty loving fool pervs out there looking at horror movies, just putting in panties so all the panty lovers can know where to find their panties in movies. And it just became a thing. So once again, we have the panties are back. For
Wait,
this
I have
one.
a question about one of those. What was like the
Canucksploitation? Canadian.
What is that?
It's like exploitation. So a Canucksploitation. So it's basically bad Canadian film, same thing.
Okay, all right, wonderful.
So moving on to trivia. Unfortunately, I couldn't find anything worth mentioning. I should say I'm going to emphasize worth mentioning. So there was some shit, but it was all stupid and it probably wasn't.
There are like 0 articles. I was trying to find some stuff, and it's just people's like personal reviews. I'm like, I don't care. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Budget. I could not find the budget, so I could not play the budget game with you tonight. I was really sad about that. I was really wanted to have you play the budget game.
Those pyrotechnics cost?
Exactly. I was they had to spend that money on something. All those loonies on something.
Was that?
So that brings us to Mortal Kombat Combat.
At the end of this day, one shall stand, one shall fall.
Good versus bad. Right versus wrong. Light versus dark. In the end, when the dust settles, who will be left standing after Mortal Kombat Combat?
All right. Now, so there were only 14 total reviews on Amazon for this movie. 24% of those are 5-star, with 10% being 1-star. So of the 5-star reviews, unfortunately, there are none. 0. All the people who gave it 5 stars did not actually write a review. So I got nothing to go on Amazon. 1-star reviews. There's only one written 1-star review on Amazon. From Moban writes, this must be the lowest budget, ill-cast, sorriest excuse of a horror movie ever made. Hands down, that's it. 1 star. So
I feel like I've seen worse.
Yeah, you have not seen.
I mean, I know you have.
Oh yeah, but that's no fun. So I went to IMDb, the land of review novels, and luckily I did find some relatively short ones. The first one is a 10 out of 10 review on IMDb, so the equivalent of a 5-star. 10 out of 10 from Jimmy PLM. He writes, the kind of movie that involves a group of partying, sexual active teenagers getting killed off one by one appeals to you, then you will love this cliche slasher movie. I personally enjoyed it. I think that the actresses were quite delicious and that the idea of a murdering priest was kind of interesting. If you want a great horror film, rent Psycho or even Night of the Demons. But if you want something to pass the time, rent this movie. It is worth watching for horror fans. Just don't expect to see Mary Lou from the second and third installments of the series. 10 out of 10. Again, I don't think that comes across as a 10 out of 10 review.
Yeah, it's pretty wishy-washy.
Like, if you want to watch something to pass the time, it's fine. That's basically what it boils down to. But I love the fact he says the actresses were quite delicious. That's a little weird.
Why he liked it so much.
A second 10 out of 10 from Poison Keyblade. Writes, Prom Night 4 Initiation, which is not the right title, is a surprisingly underrated horror gem that is a great find. This fourth installment in the Prom Night series is often overlooked because of just that. It's the fourth installment. No one ever expects much from Prom Night films, but most of them, excluding the first, are excellent movies, and this installment is just barely the best of them all. Prom Night 4 should be looked upon as a masterpiece of the genre. It had a few similarities to the original Black Christmas, but I actually like this movie way more. 10 out of 10. That makes me sad for you.
Has such bad taste. Oh no.
Yeah,
I'm sorry if they somehow hear me, but baby, you think this is better than 1974 Black Christmas?
Yeah.
Oh no.
I know, right? It just makes you feel sad.
Well, at least he has something that he likes. I mean, it's good to be passionate enough to write a review, I guess.
He didn't get the name right, though. It's like he confused Prom Night 4 and Silent Night Deadly Night 4 or something, because Prom Night 4 is Deliver Us from Evil, not Initiation. Silent Night Deadly Night 4, I believe, is called Initiation or something, but
that's got the whole thing confused.
Yeah,
and then the Black Christmas reference.
No, that could be right. But I mean, you even said yourself the rocking chair in the attic.
But the Christmasness of Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Yeah, so I don't know. But he talks about the other Prom Night films, so it's weird. Who knows? Now from the other side, we got to do the other side of this battle, the other side of that coin. We got 2 1-stars, or 2 1 out of 10s. First from Captain Kuth, Prom Night 4 is another movie that blows big time. Not only does this movie have no redeeming values, but it teased me. All right, Monica, I want you to just sit back and enjoy this guy's rant, because it's going to go in a weird direction here.
Oh, I can feel it already.
Not only does this movie have no redeeming values, but it teased me. Dude, I don't like to be teased. The filmmakers teased me when the 2 women in the beginning were combing each other's hair and they suggest a femme-to-femme moment. Then the lame director didn't go through with it. I got so mad that I nearly kicked in the TV monitor. How can they do that? If they pulled it off, it would have been so cool with the lame-o's chicken out, and I was left with a horrible movie and a wigged out religious fanatic. If I wanted to watch a movie like that, I would have rented Happy Hell Night. 1 out of 10. So this guy goes on a rant. He gives it a 1 time because he got teased. He got blue balls from the lesbian scene, I guess. Like, that's his rant. That's crazy.
The internet exists. Porn exists. Just go Google it. Like, go. You know your search terms, baby boy. Go get them.
There's thousands and thousands of porn that start 2 Catholic schoolgirls. I mean, it's.
God.
That's what his holdup was about this movie.
There's so many other things to be mad about, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, that was the weirdest part of the movie, probably. But I was not mad at it in the same way.
And last 1 out of 10 from Coventry. What's the most frustrating thing that can happen to you in the video store? This is another weird one. All right, so what's the most frustrating thing that can happen to you in the video store? Imagine you find a box that says Prom Night with a nice gruesome cover. You seem to remember that Talking in terms of A slashers, this Prom Night is supposed to be a masterpiece. Without hesitating much, you take it and go home. Then you play it, and as the credits start to appear on the TV screen, it turns out you rented something that's actually Prom Night 4, Deliver Us from Evil. They made a Prom Night 4 now? I've been had! 1 out of 10. Dude, that's your own fault.
We had the first one?
Like, did you not read the label? It clearly says Prom Night 4 on it? Like, don't get mad at the movie, get mad at yourself. That's your own
relate
fault.
to this a little bit because like 2 weeks ago, I was looking at books on my library app, like for an audiobook.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, so I want to read something horror-y. And then like I saw Woman in Black on one of the lists, and that's the Daniel Radcliffe movie came out a long time ago, and I was like, oh, I wonder what that book's about. So like I just rented it, and I just started listening to it, and I like got through the whole thing, and I was like, this is so weird. There's the main character is not a man, and Daniel Radcliffe, I'm pretty sure, was the main character in that movie. Like I don't remember it that well, and I was like, it's like a lot different. There's a lot of kids involved, and the person is a teacher. I'm like, this is very different thematically. I get to the end and it does the credits. It's like, thank you for listening to Women in Black, like Deliver Us from Evil or something like that. And I was like, what? And when you look at the picture does say Deliver Us from Evil or whatever the fuck it is, but the title itself just said Woman in Black. And so I listened to the sequel that was like some bootleg sequel, not written by the same author, like something completely different. Like I had fun with it, and I was just like, I've been had. Exactly. So like I've been there, boy. I feel you. Sometimes you get bamboozled.
That's funny. All right. So that's it, guys. That before we move on, like I said, you've heard what the other people had to say on the fight. Now we're gonna wrap it up with our final thoughts. Monica, I don't know if you're familiar with how we wrap this up, but give us our final thoughts on the movie. And to you, is it so bad it's good or so bad it's scary? What are your final thoughts here?
I laughed a lot. I cried. No, I didn't cry. I did like guffaw. I love bad horror movies. Like I love Troll 2 is one of my favorite movies, like of all time. I love that shit. I love when it's stupid. I feel like some things went in an ooky icky direction that I was like, yeah. And I feel like also the pacing sucked. So like the final act, when it's supposed to, or like the last third, where it's supposed to be like amping it up, it didn't really like amp it up for me. Like a lot of it was just like dead space. So there could have been more stupid hijinks in there, and then I would have been like, oh yeah, it's so bad that it's good. I'd say it's so bad it's scary. No, I had a blast, but I'm not gonna watch this again.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, for me, this was I was a real fence sitter on this one. I could go either way. I remember years ago when I first watched this movie, thinking about doing it first, I was like, this is terrible. The video quality at the time was bad. Like, it was grainy, and like, okay, this sucks. And I remember parts of it seemed very slow. Like I said, the pacing, like, ugh. But when I went back and started watching it to get prepared for this episode, I started like, man, there's explosions. There's this crazy priest with amazing lines and this insane intensity. He's kissing priests. He's calling sluts and whores and fucking and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, this is insane. And then there's people burning crucifixes and more explosions. And it's insane. Like this is is this good? Like, I don't know. Am I being hoodwinked here? Like, what's going on? What is happening? Like, is this actually going to be a good movie? But then I'm like, I think like, yeah, the pacing's slow. There's that, once they get to the house, it does drag for a bit. Like there's a lot of slow stuff, but then you also have the weird pervy brother. It's like there's some weird shit, but I think at the end of the day, would I watch this again? And I don't, part of me thinks I might, but another part's like, no, I've seen it like 4 times now. I think I'm good. But so like I said, I'm really torn, but I think at the end of the day, I'm going to go so bad. Oh, also, I want to say one thing because of the people who, a lot of the, people in the reviews I didn't write down, they were complaining like this fell into like the kind of like a Halloween 3 or some other sequels that if they had a different name to them, like if it wasn't a Prom Night movie, like if it wasn't Prom Night 4, if they just called Deliver Us from Evil and released it by itself as that, then I'm like, okay, maybe. But when you attach that Prom Night label to it, you're expecting at this point either the Mary Lou or something connected to the Prom Night. You're expecting something different, especially since 2 and 3 were so campy and different, and this one gets very serious. I think that also hurt. Like if it was just Deliver Us from Evil as its own thing, then and not have the Prom Night attached to it, I think it would have been maybe received a little differently.
And Deliver Us from Evil is a good name.
It is a good name. I mean, it fits. It does fit. Yeah. It fits the theme of this movie fine.
That would make me think a lot differently of this.
Yeah,
if it wasn't like a 4th sequel.
Yeah, but yeah, you attach that Prom Night 4 on it, and it really does change things. Especially again, since like I said, there's Prom Night with no prom. But I think at the end of the day, I'm gonna
listen to
fuck it. I'm gonna say So Bad It's Good with an asterisk. I'm going there. I'm torn,
Good
but I'm going good. I'm going good because
what?
a lot of people are probably gonna hate it, but I had so much fun talking about it with you. And there's something like the explosions, the priest, the one-liners, there's the weirdness, the lesbian scene. There's so much things that. Why are these things happening? The snow, the no snow, and the corpses on a crucifix.
You're me.
It's like,
God damn it.
It's like, yeah, I kind of
liked it now more.
Like if you haven't seen it, watch it at least once. Like, especially it's free on Tubi, so it's not going to cost you anything. I'm going to say So Bad It's Good. At least worth one viewing at least. So yeah, I'm it took me a while to get there, but I'm going good.
Me.
Well,
because there are so many funny things that happen in it. Like they're just preposterous things, and I love preposterous things.
Yeah. And maybe I'm also a little jaded because I am coming off Night of the Dribbler, which is like probably the all-time worst movie we've ever seen on this show. And so anything compared to that is
that is a thing.
It's a thing.
I didn't watch a trailer yet or anything. Is it a basketball that is a man or a murderer or
no? That would be better. A murdering basketball would be better. What this movie
be like
is.
Rubber.
Exactly, it would be like Rubber. So maybe I'm just like anything's better than Night of the Dribbler. But I think this movie's worth watching at least once. It's crazy. Just forget it's Prom Night. Just go and think, okay, it's called Deliver Us from Evil, and have some wacky fun with the priest spraying fire out of his holy Aspergillum and stabbing people with a crucifix sword, and it's insane. It's fucking insane. So watch it at least once and have fun with it.
It's worth one for sure. I did 1.5 viewings and I had a good fucking time.
See, well, there you go. All right, so that's it, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed. We'll be back. I'll be back later with another sitting guest for Aaron while he continues his hiatus. So in the meantime, guys, watch more horror movies. Check out Spooky Tuesday on everywhere you get your podcasts, and remember to always keep it tight.